world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Today from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, it's the Haynes 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race. And again, the weather is near perfect. Partly cloudy skies, warm temperatures, little chance of rain, but it is windy. And after 7 rounds of the 1993 schedule, Rusty Wallace has a slim 18-point advantage over Dale Earnhardt in the quest for the Cup standings. The top 5 separated by only 170. Jeff Bodine is 6th in points, just 2 out of 5th. Mark Martin lost 3 positions last week and fell to 7th. Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Spencer, and Ernie Irvin complete the top 10. And hi, everyone. I'm Bob Jenkins. Welcome to Martinsville as we complete the first half of the short track season for 93. For the past 2 weeks, we've been competing on tracks about a half-mile in length, and Rusty Wallace has won both of them. He goes for the sweep here today. Now, his car the last couple of weeks has shown very little damage at the end of the race. But I guess, Ned and Benny, you could say that while Rusty's going for the sweep today, some crews who have been working trying to get their cars repaired are looking for a little sleep.
Bob, for some, the best thing about coming to the racetrack is you have to leave at 5 o'clock. NASCAR shuts down, so you're able to go back to the motel and get some sleep. Some crews this week has had some sleepless nights. Believe it or not, the 15, Jeff Bodine, the 6, Mark Martin, and the 24, Jeff Gordon. Remember how torn up they were last week in North Wilkesboro? These are the same cars they had last week.
And I'm sure fans wonder, well, why didn't they take one of those many other cars that they have in their shop and bring here and not spend all of those sleepless nights? Well, you get a race car that really works, one that you like, get dialed in, and you want to bring it back. And evidently it worked for Jeff Bodine because he brought that torn-up motorcraft forward here and sat on the pole. Mark Martin won this race last year, so he wanted to come back here in the same car. Jeff Gordon has run so good at every track this year, so he wanted the car that's been carrying him so fast.
And all 3 cars are on the front stretch, which is a great advantage, isn't it, Jerry?
Well, guys, the Martinsville misery has been well documented for the Alabama gang. No one named Allison has ever won a Winston Cup race here. Not Bobby, not Donnie, and certainly not Davey. In fact, Davey has never qualified well enough to even pit on the front straightaway. Remember 1991 on ESPN, he nearly won this race pitting in the backstretch. The car gave up with just 40 laps to go. He said, my crew is doing such a great job here, I need to give them a chance by qualifying better. Well, that's what they decided to do. They came here and tested, ran 675 laps, 3 days, 2 different race cars, and it paid off. That number 28 qualified 6th, and they are pitting right here in the middle of the front straightaway. A first for Davey Allison. Well, another driver has a first here at Martinsville, driving a black car, but not a first that he wanted. With more, here's Sean Kernan.
Well, Jerry, the Dale Earnhardt, Richard Childress, Goodwrench Racing crew are going to have some of those patented 17-second pit stops like we saw Davey Allison's crew turn last week at North Wilkesboro. That's because for the first time in his career, Earnhardt, Richard Childress are pitting on the backstretch at Martinsville. Talking with the crew today, they said, hey, we can set a first. We can win this race. We know we got to have good pit stops, but we need a little luck. We need for the last pit stop to be made under the green flag. We've told you before what a disadvantage it is to pit on the backstretch during a caution period. But, Bob, NASCAR today will allow the pace car, once it drops off the field on the front stretch pits, to speed up, to come around to the entrance to the backstretch pits to allow these teams to get in just a little bit quicker.
All right, John. Well, Dale Earnhardt was in a position to win the race last year, but he, as so many others did, suffered a broken rear axle and finished 9th in the Haynes 500 in 1992. Our Speed World coverage is being brought to you today by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil. By your local Yamaha dealer, who invites you to see their exciting line of motorcycles, ATVs, and water vehicles. And by Budweiser, the king of beers with that fresh, pure, natural taste. Nothing beats a Bud. Near capacity crowd, 34 cars set to go 500 laps in the Haynes 500 at Martinsville.
She's an 83 with over 140,000 on-road and off-road miles. Must be in and out of it 150 times a day. It's a wonder the doors don't fall off. Only trouble was when the pig charge caved in my door. I only used AC Delco. Cheaper parts can cost you a powerful life. Of course, so can pigs.
AC Delco parts. It's like buying time. Now through May 15th, get started with up to $14 cash back on Delco Freedom batteries.
Burt Reynolds talks with the Quaker State team.
Hold on. I got to get my name on the car. My fans are getting restless.
No room.
How about on the Big Q?
The Big Q stands alone. Stands for quality.
You can't get better protection.
No other oil beats Quaker State.
How about right here?
No way. Red doesn't like to be crowded.
My fans are getting demanding.
All right, we'll go get the painter.
They must have had a hard time finding the painter. Nothing beats Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
Today's history lesson, the fork. No, I'm talking front fork. Look, since day one, it's done two jobs, steering and suspension. You ever tried holding down two jobs? Now, cut to the new Yamaha GTS 1008, the sultan of swing arms. One arm steers, one does suspension. No fork, no fuss. Yamaha doesn't just make motorcycles, they make history. End of lesson.
You can feel it deep inside. Dedication and a real sense of pride. And you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
ESPN Speed World today at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. The cars have been fired here on the main straightaway, and in just a moment they'll be pulling out to warm up the cars a couple of laps before the green flag. Let's take a look at Martinsville Speedway, one of the first tracks that NASCAR competed on. Our track is 0.526 miles in length. The pole speed was 93.887. The time 20.169 seconds. Martinsville Speedway has been described as two drag strips connected by two hairpin turns. Turns 1 and 2 banked at 12 degrees.
That picture is very apt, too, because those straightaways are that long, the corners that short.
The backstretch is 800 feet in length. Likewise, turns 3 and 4 are banked at 12 degrees. And the front stretch also is 800 feet in length.
Brakes are a premium on this racetrack because of the long straightaways and the flat turns.
The grid's still on the main straightaway here, getting the signal from the NASCAR officials to pull away. Now, we have a unique camera that we'll be utilizing here today. It's an infrared camera, and that's what it will look like. It's positioned down in turn number 1. The purpose of this camera is to show you where the heat is, and you will notice it especially around the brake drums.
And you can see the bottom of the cars, that light section. Those cars are starting to warm up. We already see heat under those cars.
Should give you some real interesting shots of how warm those brakes get and where other heat is on the racetrack. Well, since we're showing you the pole sitter there, Jeff Bodine, let's show you the AC Delco starting lineup for today's event. Jeff is the pole sitter, breaking the track record at 93.887. He'll drive the Motorcraft Ford car number 15. Hud Strickland, his best start ever in a Winston Cup race, in the McDonald's Ford car number 27, starts alongside. In the second row, Jeff Gordon from Pittsboro, Indiana, in the DuPont Chevy number 24, and Kyle Petty from Randleman, North Carolina, in the mellow yellow Pontiac car number 42. The third row consists of Rusty Wallace in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac car number 2, and Davey Allison in the Haviland Ford car number 28. 7th starting position goes to hometown favorite Jimmy Hensley in the Bojangles Ford car number 7, alongside the defending champion of this event, Mark Martin from Batesville, Arkansas, in the Valvoline Ford car number 6. The Country Time Ford starts in 9th position, driven by Bobby Hamilton from Nashville, Tennessee. Then the number 30 Pennzoil Pontiac with Michael Waltrip from Owensboro, Kentucky at the wheel. 6th row, Dale Jarrett from Conover, North Carolina, the Interstate Battery Chevrolet number 18, and the Kodak Film Chevrolet, driven by Ernie Irvin from Modesto, California. And as we look at the rest of the starting lineup, you can see that the field begins now to pull away for a couple of warm-up laps.
And we see Kenny Wallace starting in the 17th position. No, I beg your pardon. Rick Mast in the 17th position is the last driver that got to pit on the front stretch. 17 pits are on the front stretch. So you can see there's some awfully good, fast race cars pitting on the back.
And for the second week in a row, Dale Earnhardt starts in 21st position. He was the fastest second-day qualifier. Didn't set a record as he did last weekend at North Wilkesboro, but nevertheless was the fastest second-day qualifier and will begin from 21st position. There you see Wally Dallenbach and Dave Marcus. The grand marshal of this event is Joe Montana, who now is the quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's riding in the pace car on the parade lap.
I was waiting for you to say quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers.
We hope that Joe will come up here to the booth a little bit later, and we can talk to him about the recent trade that will put him in a Kansas City uniform for 1993 and 4. Here's the infrared camera again now, and you notice the heat that's coming from underneath the cars. Almost look like they're on fire.
Wow, that is some picture, isn't it? But you can see all the heat inside those cars. Look how hot it is inside.
And it is not a warm day here. The temperature is in the 70s, but it is very windy. But that infrared camera will show you where the heat is on these particular cars. Our in-car cameras today, we will have 3 of them. Mark Martin will carry one of our cameras. So will Dale Jarrett, car number 18, as he gets the tires warmed up. Jimmy Hensley will also be carrying one of our in-car cameras. Good starting position for Jimmy Hensley. He brought the crowd to its feet when he qualified on Friday. He lives just up the road here, and boy, this place would go crazy if he were to win the race.
I'm telling you, they would. And we'll see the cars going back and forth, trying to get those tires warmed up more today than normal, because all the drivers are complaining about very stiff sidewalls on these tires. We see Kyle Petty going back and forth, trying to get those tires loosened up.
Kyle Petty with an excellent record in short track competition. Most recently, he'll be starting in 4th position today, and he's going to try to continue that string that has put him well up into the points. As a matter of fact, 4th in the points as a result of last week's finish at North Wilkesboro. All right, the pace car is in turn number 4, headed toward the pits. And as we indicated, a capacity crowd on hand here as Jeff Bodine and Hut Strickland lead them down, looking for the green flag. There it is, and we're underway. Jeff Bodine spins out of turn number 2 on the 2nd lap. Last week, he was involved in an incident on the 1st lap.
And he has a car going, no caution flag.
Hut Strickland has the lead. Kyle Petty, Rusty Wallace, 2nd and 3rd, then Jeff Gordon and Davey Allison. But for the 2nd week in a row, tough break for Jeff Bodine early in the going.
And we can see Kyle Petty's car wiggle as he came off that corner. It was extremely slick off that corner. I don't know if there was some contact with Kyle Petty or not. Let's see if we can see. Well, already.
Well, he and Hut Strickland had got together coming off of turn 4 on the 1st lap, and then I guess they bumped a little bit over there, and it is slick down on that inside.
There is Rusty Wallace passing Kyle Petty, moving to 2nd position. Hut Strickland has a nice lead here in the first 4 laps. And now from another angle, we will show you that spin by Jeff Bodine once again.
Here they are coming off of turn 2. Bodine down on the inside. The back end breaks loose just a little bit. He nudges the car number 27 of Hut Strickland and just can't get it back together, and around he goes. And I think that tire situation you were talking about, Benny, it takes a while to get them heated up, and that could have maybe contributed to it.
Caution flag is out. The caution flag does wave. There's some debris on the racetrack someplace at NASCAR. There it is. See some metal lead on the racetrack.
First caution of the day will eliminate the nice lead that Hut Strickland had built up over Rusty Wallace, Kyle Petty, Jeff Gordon, and Davey Allison. We're in the early going, and we'll be right back.
When it's this hot outside, you know how hot it is inside. That's why you need Armor All, the world's leading protectant. No matter how hot it gets or how cold, Armor All helps keep your dash looking new. We're so sure about it, we guarantee it. If your new dash ever cracks, we'll replace it, guaranteed. There is a fountain of youth, and we guarantee it. Armor All. Don't take chances.
Hey, I like to save money as much as the next guy, but What are the odds that there's going to be a sale on the parts you need when your car breaks down? Hey, it's not going to happen. That's why I go to AutoZone. I mean, sure, you could wait around for a couple weeks and maybe beat their price by a few pennies someplace else. But I don't want to wait for a sale when I need a part. Now, what more could you ask for?
We're inside Dale Jarrett's car. You can see he's wearing a San Francisco 49ers helmet in respect to Joe Montana, who's the Grand Marshal of this race, who used to play with the 49ers, and the green flag comes out once again.
And I think they chose that helmet before he made the deal this week.
And Mark Martin slows down dramatically coming off turn 2, loses several spots.
Looks like the car jumped out of gear. The car's going back again.
Looks to be okay now, but he lost several spots.
Now we see the telemetry in there. We'll just see how many RPMs he turns. Down to 4,600 in the middle of the corner. Accelerating down the back. 8,800 RPMs, Bob.
At about 112, 115 miles an hour at top end.
Probably see more of an RPM variance on this racetrack than any other track, certainly more than any other oval they race on.
And now Rusty Wallace chases down Hut Strickland. This is first and second. Rusty looks inside down the front stretch. And Jerry, what happened to Mark Martin? Oh, a spin in turn 4.
Bobby Labonte.
Bobby Labonte spins the Maxwell House Ford. Does not lose a lap, and there will be no caution. He hasn't lost a lap yet, but here comes Hut Strickland and the others bearing down on him.
And he has some heavy damage to the right rear of that Maxwell House Ford, so it doesn't appear as though tire is rubbing the quarter panel. But
all right, Jerry, what was Mark Martin's problem?
Well, guys, Mark Martin remembered exactly what happened last week at Wilkesboro. He said he was getting a little rough up front. We decided to back off and let him go. It's a long afternoon here, 500 laps at Martinsville. No need to use up the car in the early laps, as happened last week at North Wilkesboro.
Well, that's an interesting strategy here in the early part of this race. Now Strickland comes up on Bobby Labonte, tries to put him a lap down. Rusty is still locked in the second spot. And here is Labonte's spin from our speed shot underneath the starter stand.
Someone had to get in the back of him because, as I said, he has some real heavy damage to the rear of that car. And meanwhile, Hut Strickland is still trying to get by Bobby Labonte.
Kyle Petty is third, Gordon is fourth, Allison fifth, then Irvin, Hensley, Hamilton, Michael Waltrip, and Mark Martin.
And we can see that Bobby Labonte's car is running pretty well. I think someone told me that about 25 cars are running the same speed. There goes Ernie Irvin trying to get by the Davey Allison car. Jimmy Hensley trying to follow.
That's fifth position. Hensley trying to gain sixth from Allison. They touch coming off corner number 2. And we watch from Hensley's car. He takes the spot from Davey.
It's almost impossible to pass on this racetrack and not make a little bit of contact. Jimmy Hensley is one of the smoothest drivers in NASCAR Winston Cup racing, and that really pays off on this racetrack.
We understand that some drivers are complaining that there may be something coming from the 4 car, some kind of fluid or liquid. Jerry, what have you found out about that?
Well, the NASCAR has been reported to by a driver, as you said, Bob, that something was coming out of the Kodak car. The crew has asked Ernie Irvin to check all the gauges. Ernie says everything looks good. The oil pressure, the temperature, and water, everything looks fine. But Ernie's going to watch those gauges closely, as NASCAR will watch that car very closely the next few laps.
Oh, Ricky Rudd spins got in turn 1.
Wally Dallenbach spins in 3.
And Bill Elliott almost got in the side of Rudd, or did get in the side of Rudd.
There's Dallenbach, whose car is right under the scoreboard between turns 3 and 4. The Keystone Beer Ford is damaged, and Wally tries to get it refired.
And it's on fire.
You can see some fire coming from the front of the
there's a fire under the car.
Yes, you can see the flames under. You look straight from the right front wheel.
Firemen are right there with their extinguishers.
Here's Ricky Rudd going down the corner, trying to get under Mark. Mark comes down. Now Rudd follows him in the corner, and I don't know if he goes in the corner, and looks like that Elliott ran in the back. Bill Elliott ran in the back of Rudd, and he makes contact with him again.
One of those log jam situations in which Elliott just couldn't get on the brakes quick enough to avoid hitting Rudd in the rear and spinning him around. And the tied Chevy drifting up, hitting the outside wall. And so two different incidents here. Dallenbach, as you can see, is out of the car. He's okay, surveying the damage, as the track safety crew also looks over the Keystone Beer Ford. Elliott, meanwhile, is in the pits. And here comes Ricky Rudd also.
And Rudd taking his car behind the pit wall. A little bit more work to do than they're allowed to do on pit road.
The right front tire was not turning at all on Rudd's car.
Right. Elliott comes out without losing a lap. We are cautioned. 22 laps have been completed. Hut Strickland leads Rusty Wallace.
I'm Doug Mays. I drive a Mazda for many reasons. It's a great car, and Montgomery Mazda is a great dealership. I bought my first car from Charlie Montgomery nearly 20 years ago. He's established a tradition of integrity and service that's carried out by his staff every day. You don't need to shop anywhere else to get the best price on a new Mazda or a quality used car.
Montgomery Mazda, our pride works for you.
The savings are on during Young Ford's 41st anniversary celebration. Save on America's best-selling car, the Ford Taurus, as low as $13,995. Or the Motor Trend Car of the Year, the 93 Probe, just $12,411. Need a truck? Drive America's #1 selling vehicle, the F-150, at $10,888. And with every purchase of a new car or truck, you'll get an Alltel cellular phone or a dream vacation for 2 to one of 5 exciting locations. So come in for the anniversary celebration. After all, why drive an old car when you could drive a Young Ford? Young Ford, the corner of Eastway and North Tryon.
Is playing for keeps. Watch the Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN with a hot, delicious Domino's pizza. And oh yeah, get a comfortable seat. The Stanley Cup playoffs continue tomorrow in a living room near you on ESPN.
Henry County in Martinsville, Virginia. It's here you can live in the present but remember the past. This grist mill was built and operated from 1910 until 1935 by E.B. Mabry. Beautiful mill is along the Blue Ridge Parkway and is part of the National Park Service. So well into the 20th century, many mountain communities relied on ingenuity to produce life's necessities. We're at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. Here's Jerry Punch.
Work continues on the Tide Chevrolet behind the wall. Ricky's still sitting in the car. Ricky, what happened up there?
Well, Jerry, I'm not really sure. The 6 car got on the brakes. Everybody got low down. The 11 car, I don't know if he was looking somewhere else or not, but he just drove right straight in the back of me and turned me around.
Ricky's still sitting in the car. We'll show you the damage on the car. Here's what's left of the right front rotor. Take a look at the brakes just locked up when he slapped the wall. That's a pretty expensive piece of equipment, and right now it's very costly to run, and it's costing them a lot of valuable time here as we get ready to go back to green flag. Bob?
Track is clear, and we're set to go back to green. Strickland, Wallace, Petty, Gordon, and Irvin are your top 5, and the green comes out for lap number 29.
Rusty Wallace trying to get underneath. Hut Strickland can't do it. He goes down to the inside. He's trying once again.
Kyle Petty trying to lap Bobby Labonte. He passes it. Jeff Gordon now will attempt to, but meanwhile, Ernie Irvin.
Hey, taking an outside route. Bobby Labonte moved down to the inside. Irvin saw that, just took advantage and moved right on around it.
And look at Ernie closed right up on the back bumper of Kyle Petty. Meanwhile, this is Jimmy Hensley.
Hensley running in 6th. That's Jeff Gordon just ahead of him. This is our Armor All in-car camera being carried by Jimmy Hensley, driving the Bojangles Ford for Alan Kulwicki Racing. No announcement yet on who the buyer might be for that team or when the announcement might be made.
But you knew they met with Friday? by which racetrack qualified Payne Stewart.
Is that right? Golfer. How about that?
Has an interest in buying the team. Imagine that.
How about that? Well, Jeff Bodine is among those mentioned as a possible buyer. We also hear that an IndyCar owner is looking for the possibility of buying that team. So we'll have to wait for a few more days or weeks before we know who is going to buy the Kulwicki team.
There's Davey Allison directly behind Jimmy Hensley, the Haviland Texaco car.
And a pass for third as Ernie Irvin, who tried to get around Kyle Petty coming off the second corner, stands on the gas, takes the position headed into 3, and Ernie has moved to third.
Meanwhile, Hud Strickland is putting some distance on Rusty Wallace. Does that mean Wallace has a problem?
And here's Ken Schrader, Bobby Hamilton, and Mark Martin. Here's a Napa Field summary for you, how they were running last time around this half-mile racetrack here at Martinsville.
Bobby Hamilton had a great qualifying run, qualified 9th. Now Martin goes by. Here comes Brett Bodine trying to get alongside Bobby. He makes it.
Brett Bodine led this race late last year.
And there's Earnhardt already up to about 12th to 13th place.
From a starting position of 21st
up to 13th. If he could get by Bobby Hamilton, that would put him in 12th.
He had an awfully fast race car. In fact, a lot of people were looking at him to be a pole contender, and then he qualified like 32nd on the first day. Don't know if he tried too hard. That was what some of the crew members were wondering. But anyway, he didn't have a good qualifying run. Had to come back and re-qualify yesterday. John Kernan?
Well, guys, Dale Earnhardt is so unused to pitting on the back stretch that as the race started, he radioed his spotter and said, hey, don't forget, when we get ready to pit, remind me, I'm not pitting on the front stretch, I'm pitting on the back.
First time in his career that Earnhardt has pitted on the back stretch, but since there are only 17 spaces here on the main straightaway and he was 21st, that's where he is. Earnhardt started 21st, moved to 17th by the end of lap 5, then to 15th, 13th, and at the end of 36 laps is now in 12th and chasing down Brett Bodine. Hut Strickland continues to lead this race, and he's looking for his first top 10
spin.
Since
Bobby Hamilton
at Daytona.
It's fun coming up turn 4. Still no caution flag. They're hoping Hamilton can't get the car going, which he does. He's going to lose some time because here comes the leader, Hut Strickland. He goes by.
Hamilton loses a lap after the spin.
As Benny said, Bobby had a great qualifying run, but the car looked a little loose. A number of cars had been passing him, and don't know if he had a little help when he spun out or if it just got too loose for him. He's coming into the pits.
The Junior Johnson-owned McDonald's Ford, driven by Hut Strickland, is the leader of this race after 41 of 500 laps.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
Great balls of fire! You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. But your love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Doesn't it raise your great balls of fire?
Bosch Platinum, the ultimate spark plug.
A noble warrior advised, the art of protection springs from within. One must stay vigilant against one's unfragrant perspiration, lest one provoke a hostile response. Thus, a Norse ritual is Right Guard Sports Stick. An aromatic array of the freshest scents and maximum protection against disarming wetness. Confirming the wisdom, the best defense is not to offend. Right Guard Sports Stick. Anything less will be uncivilized.
We're here at McDonald's to tell you about
Breakfast Economics.
Breakfast Economics?
It's a great breakfast at a great price.
It's a McDonald's thing. It saves you money. Pretty simple, isn't it?
Piece of cake.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
It's good, isn't it? It's great.
Are you an AT&T salesman?
Yes.
Is your company telling customers that MCI's 800 service isn't reliable?
Yes.
Is that the truth?
Yes.
Hut Strickland continues to lead here at Martinsville in the Haynes 500. Rusty Wallace about a half-second behind. Kyle Petty is 3 seconds behind. Ernie Irvin has moved to 4th. He's about 3.5 behind, and Jeff Gordon is running in 5th position. Here's Jerry Punch with Hut Strickland in Hut Strickland's pit.
Bob, I had a chance to speak with Hut Strickland this week during a celebrity charity golf tournament and talked about what a great year he's had so far. Finished 4th in the season opening Daytona 500, qualified 5th last week, and Hunt was quick to give all the credit to the crews, and in particular, Mike Hill, my crew chief. He stands on pit road with a great big yellow M on his back, which stands for McDonald's, but in our business, it is Big Mike. He said he is probably the best kept secret in NASCAR racing. He's been with Junior Johnson for 13 years before being named crew chief this year, and what a job he has done for this team as evidenced by the way Hunt is running here today.
Strickland, of course, has never won a NASCAR Winston Cup race. Rusty is trying to get the lead away from him right now. He's got Morgan Shepherd just ahead of him and will probably have to get off the accelerator and fall in behind Hutt going into turn 3. But a good battle up front between Strickland and Wallace as Rusty goes for 3 in a row.
Rusty wants to lead. You can just see by the way he has got a very aggressive posture on the racetrack. He wants to lead. Of course, Hut Strickland, he's the position that every driver wants to be, and he's leading the race. And believe me, he had a great finish in Daytona, but hasn't had a lot to cheer about. Right now, this is, I think, the best run that Hutt's had all year long.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. Now, Rusty, once we see that infrared there, the heat that's coming from underneath these cars, you can see where the groove is. Rusty wants to lead one thing to get 5 bonus points. Since he's the point leader, Dale Earnhardt is back in the pack.
And look at this heavy traffic right in front of the leaders.
Oh, he's got a lot of maneuvering to do. Dave Marcus is there. So is Dick Trickle, Bill Elliott, Rick Wilson, all those cars. Strickland is coming up onto lap.
Marcus moves down to the inside. This is what Rusty is really trying to find. We can see them get together, a little bumping.
Look at the groove. You can tell exactly where the cars are running, how the pavement has heated up in that particular section. You can also see where the heat is on the cars, and they're hot except for the hood and right around the driver compartment.
Now Hut Strickland still trying to get by Dave Marcus on the outside. Oh, and he and Marcus get together. Marcus backs off and says, hey, guys, go ahead. There's Kyle Petty. We see that Kyle Petty has caught his 2 cars while they've been trying to get by Dave Marcus. Now they've got other problems. Here's Rick Wilson, the STP Pontiac.
And a good battle between Dale Jarrett and Dale Earnhardt.
Earnhardt's car is not as fast as it was earlier. A number of cars have gotten by him since we last saw him. Brett Bodine was one of them. Terry Labonte might be one of the fastest cars on the track. He has moved through a lot of cars.
This is 12th and 13th as we head down to John Kernan.
Well, Bob, here at Martinsville, the brake rotor gets so hot, it heats up the wheel. And what can happen there, it will literally melt the seal around the valve stem. The tire goes flat. Well, the Goodwrench crew has come up with something just a little bit different. They've taken a thin piece of aluminum tape and wrapped it around the inside of the wheel to act as a heat shield.
There is the heat and how much is generated around the tires. And now the suspension cam.
That's in Mark Martin's car. You can see in the right front, this is right behind the right front wheel.
Not a whole lot of travel, is there?
No, there isn't, because they use a pretty stiff spring, pretty stiff shock. There we see a pretty good bump as he comes off the corner.
And Rusty still trying to get the lead away from Hut Strickland as here comes another Napa Field summary. Kyle 3rd, then Irvin and Allison. Jeff Gordon, who was in the top 5, has fallen back to 6th position. And here is Davey Allison now trying to take away the spot from Jeff Gordon.
This is for 5th place. Davey has this position. Takes it away. Whoops. I spoke a little soon, didn't I?
And we say that Bobby Hamilton, he's back out on the racetrack now after he had an oil pump belt to come off, and they've repaired that. He's back out. But still behind the wall are Ricky Rudd in the Tide Chevrolet and Wally Dallenbach in the Keystone Beer Ford, and Kenny Wallace in the Dirt Devil Pontiac is behind the wall as well. I don't know, it looks like maybe a rear gearing problem on his car or something to have it jacked up. They are working on it.
Davey now cleanly passes Jeff Gordon.
And Morgan Shepherd. Morgan's a lap down in the Citgo Ford.
This is, of course, Jeff's first Winston Cup race here at Martinsville. He has driven Busch Grand National events here. Brett Bodine and Mark Martin are racing together. And this is how it looks from from Mark Martin's perspective.
Mark is beginning to slip back a little bit. Brett just passed him a couple of laps ago, so his car not working as well as it did earlier. And here's the spin.
And Bill Elliott is into the wall and on the front stretch.
I think something maybe happened to Jimmy Spencer's car. I don't know, Will. Take a look. The leaders were right behind Bill Elliott.
So Bill Elliott is lapped because as he spun, the 27 car got by. Now the pace car comes down, and we're going to see a lot of pit stops right now.
Oh, yes.
Pits are open.
Here they come.
Everybody on the lead lap eligible to come in. Strickland, Wallace, Petty, Irvin, Allison. And here is Jerry Punch in Strickland's pit.
Let's watch the McDonald's crew here. Mike Hill and company go to work as everyone is on pit road. 27 on top, 2 on the bottom. Let's watch the Rusty Wallace crew as well. The Pontiac crew getting service. Left side tires now going on the McDonald's Ford Thunderbird. Likewise, tires on the Pontiac of Rusty Wallace. And Rusty Wallace is down pit road. Here is Hut Strickland out. Let's check in the back pits with John Curtis.
Jerry, with the pace car speeding up, Earnhardt got in pretty quickly. He's already got right side tires on. Left side tires going on. Rusty Wallace coming down to turn 2, heading down the back stretch. They'll check in 2 rounds. The wedge tighten the car up, and it got very loose. Dale Earnhardt is down and away.
Now here is why we are under caution. Bill Elliott running right in front of Hut Strickland, and as you indicated, Ned, I think he maybe had to slam on the brakes behind Spencer and spun.
Yeah, it looked like something happened to Spencer's car. Here it is again.
And then, yeah, Jimmy looks like maybe got hit by Strickland and saved it.
And one car and Spencer get together as you go down turn 1. It's like Spencer can't steer his car.
And it doesn't look like it has much power either.
So it has brought out another caution period here at Martinsville and allowed the drivers to come in for a pit stop. We'll be right back.
You're missing the boat if you're not shopping at K-Town. We have the largest selection, guaranteed lowest prices, the best brand names, trained service personnel, in-store financing, and graduate interior designers to assist you in decorating your home. Yes, K-Town offers it all. Carpet, custom drapes, garden equipment, and lawn furniture. Furniture for every room, and Frigidaire and Kelvinator appliances. Believe me, you're missing the boat if you fail to shop K-Town Furniture, Concord, Kannapolis, and Salisbury.
Hey, Ernie, now that you've won the race, where are you going now?
I'm gonna go to Village Jewelry. I got tired of looking at them all. When Kim and I got engaged, we decided we needed to go to a place that really knew diamonds. Village Jewelry in Cloverleaf Plaza. The service was professional, good, and fast. And that's what I like.
Village Jewelry in the Cloverleaf Plaza.
If it's jewelry you want, go see Village Jewelry. If it's good racing, come watch me.
We catch all the highlights of the weekend, including the Haynes 500 from Martinsville, NHRA's Ram Southern Nationals at Atlanta, and Formula One's Grand Prix of San Marino from Italy. Speed Week tonight at 10:30 Eastern.
Is this when you get to drive, Bob?
Yes, right after this race on Speed Week tonight, we will have a little feature on my exploitations at the Bondurant Performance of High School.
I thought you started saying expertise. I knew better than that.
Here are the top 5. Wallace, Strickland, Irvin, Petty, and Allison. Yep, I get behind the wheel of a race car at the Bondurant Driving School on Speed Week at 10:30.
How was it?
As you will see, I had a great time, but I have no desire whatever to be a race car.
That's not what you told me. You said, you guys have got to be crazy.
Well, that's pretty close, too. This looks like a Desert Storm picture, doesn't it? This is our infrared camera located in turn 1, and that's where the heat, that glowing part is where the heat, and you can see even the hoods have got a lot of heat generated on them.
Man, I'm telling you, look at the hoods, how hot they are. That's just how hot it is in the engine compartment. Now, I'll tell you what, we're going to see some exciting racing right now, because that red car on the inside, that's Jeff Bodine. He lost a lap on that caution flag in the pits. Rusty Wallace took the lead, and Bodine wants that lap back badly.
Bill Elliott's behind the wall for you Bill Elliott fans, repairing the damage during that wreck. Green flag waves.
And Rusty gets the jump, and Jeff will not get his lap back very easily. Rusty did get the lead on the pit stops, and now has the 5 bonus points for leading a lap. Strickland is second, followed by Irvin, Petty, and Allison. Rusty in his last 6 short track races, 3 wins, 2 seconds, and a 4th. Boy, Bobby Labonte got way out of shape.
Well, he got a little help going into that turn. He and Jeff Gordon got together going into the turn and touched Bobby just a little bit. Bobby did a good job of saving the car.
2 of the 3 full-time rookie contenders. They Wallace the other. And
here it is as they go into the turn. You can see that Jeff Gordon trying to dive down on the inside and touched Bobby just a little bit. Sent him high up into the third groove.
And as Ned said, Bobby did a great job in saving the car. Dale Earnhardt, Michael Waltrip racing.
And Jerry Punch is with Bill Elliott.
Bill has climbed down to the Budweiser Ford, and Bill, a tough start for you today. What happened out there?
Well, Jimmy Spencer about spun out coming off turn 4 there. You know, he got straight back up and he got back in the throttle, and then I got in the throttle, and then all of a sudden he just stopped. And when he did, I hit him, and then hit me. So just one of them deals.
How bad is the car hurt, Bill?
Well, when I backed in the inside wall, seemed to hurt it pretty good, but we're going to try to get out and ride around.
Mike Beam and the crew here working along with Bill Elliott. He's out of the car trying to help orchestrate getting this car repaired. They're a never-say-die team here in the Junior Johnson organization.
And if NASCAR's most popular driver didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all.
It really has been a tough year for Bill Elliott. What's his best finish, in 9th place or something?
There's that good top 10 finishes and has not led a lap all year long. That is hard to believe. But this time last year, he'd already won 4 races.
Yeah, his best finish was a 9th in the first race of the year at Atlanta.
You see Martin pulling right up on the back bumper of Jeff Gordon. Jeff in the DuPont car. Here's Mark, the white car on the inside. Jeff Gordon wisely does not contest that pass, and away Mark goes.
Martin to 9th, Gordon to 10th.
Looks like Mark Martin might have broken the exhaust pipe. I thought I saw a plane jump out of that car when he backed off the gas or got back on the. Couldn't see it that time. It looked like his car was backfiring, which normally means that he's broken an exhaust pipe, and cool air is getting in with that, and that hot exhaust pipe causing the backfire.
Terry Labonte had some damage to the front end of the car early, but it has not slowed him down. As a matter of fact, when he suffered that damage, he called the crew and said, okay, the car is ready to run now.
So it's ready to race at Martinsville. And I'll tell you, it seems to be because he was fast before that caution. He had passed a lot of race cars and was still fast. He's getting on the backstretch. They had a good pit stop, beat a lot of the cars that were pitting on the front stretch. So Labonte on the move in the Kellogg cornflake car.
Evidently, all that damage is not affecting the car because, as Ned said, the car is running extremely well.
Well, here's our serial on the Kellogg's cereal sponsored car, driven by Terry Labonte. He started 19th, moved to 16th at the end of 25 laps, then to 13th, 9th, and has fallen back to 11th position.
But that was because of the pit stops. He's pitting on the backstretch. He had moved up into 9th place, as the graphics has shown, but he's now beginning to pick up some of those positions that he lost during pit stop.
There are Brett Bodine and Dale Earnhardt.
There's Mark Martin as we in-car camera. Jerry Punch is down the Martin pit. Jerry?
Danny, your eyes are not deceiving you. I just spoke to Steve Mill. They have indeed broken a header pipe on the car number 6, and they are getting some cool air in the exhaust system, which is causing it to backfire intermittently on the race track. Not really affecting the car right now, but not what they would hope to have here in the first 100 laps of a 500-lap event.
So despite his age, Vinny's eyesight still pretty good.
I tell you one thing, we hope that exhaust doesn't get inside the car. Sometimes when you break those exhaust pipes, that fumes come back in the car with the driver and really makes the driver lose it.
And that's one of the things I noticed when I participated in this driver's school. We're going to check this out to see if we can... Oh, yeah, you can see the fire. It looked like it was radiating off the front stretch wall.
Just like a flash bulb.
Yeah. Watch for the flash bulb type action on the right side of the car.
Let's watch this one more time.
Yeah, there you can see it.
And you know what that does? That also scares everybody down in turn 1 to death because they think a tire is blown.
So the Haynes 500 is a little more than 100 laps old, and Rusty Wallace is your leader. We'll be right back.
This is your world, genuine and true. You're the one who keeps coming through, 'cause you're giving it your best. Proud to be your bud. Budweiser. Proud to be your bud. Proud to be your bud. Ooh, yeah. Proud to be your. Proud to be your bud.
Today's metallic paints look beautiful, but can dull over time. Kit Metallic Car Polish makes metallic finishes glow, seals in protection. Nice shine. New Kit Metallic.
Some fur. Some fur. Everyone
Preferred stock cologne from Stetson. What preferred men prefer.
Bob Jenkins, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, John Kernan, Dr. Jerry Punch back at Martinsville, where Rusty Wallace is leading the Haynes 500 with 117 laps completed. Now the good battle for 6th position is between Brett Bodine and Dale Earnhardt. And there they are.
There it is.
Brett Bodine has the 6th position. Earnhardt trying to take it away. They've had a pretty good battle here for the last several laps, but Bodine hanging right down on the inside with his Quaker State Ford, so he's able to hold Earnhardt on.
Dale trying to dispel that notion that you can't win a race here pitting on the backstretch. Now, Darrell Waltrip did win one a few years ago.
Wait a minute, Brett Bodine is pitting on the backstretch as well.
That's right, yeah.
So Bodine's crew, let's give him credit. They beat the Earnhardt crew out of the pits that last pit stop.
And Bodine, again, has had some great runs this this year, but doesn't have very good finishing positions to show for it.
They'll move down out of the rearview mirror, hoping that Brett Bodine would go up the hill a little bit in turn 3. Didn't work. Once again, or maybe, you know, Dale Earnhardt is driving his race car like he has a brake problem. I noticed a while ago he was going in the corner a little bit high. He's moving over sometimes down the straightaway like he's trying to get air to cool those brakes off. Or maybe he was just trying to fake Brett Bodine out and make him move up the racetrack.
Dale Jarrett, meanwhile, is running in 18th position, wearing the San Francisco 49ers helmet this week. Now, joining me is a guy, now let's see, who did he used to play for? Yeah, by golly, he did used to play for the 49ers, didn't he? The Grand Marshal of the Haynes 500 has joined us here in the booth now. Kansas City Chief Joe Montana. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good.
You like this?
I sure do. You know, that's one of the things that's always been intriguing to me as a kid, has been fast cars and racetracks, and I've only had one opportunity to get into one, and this is my first opportunity to come and actually be in one and up close and personal.
Here's a good run for second and third here as Hut Strickland and Ernie Irvin. Ernie's closed in now on Hut.
Ernie tried to get inside Hut down in turn 1 last lap. And Kyle Petty, we can see he's right back there as well.
So how does it feel to be a member of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, it feels pretty good. You know, my future's kind of stable now. For a while it was up and down, and it feels good to be able to kind of have a home and know where I'm going. And it's been a little rough trying to get into a new offensive system, and it's mostly the same with a lot of new terminology, so I've had to spend a lot more time in a playbook than I've had in a while.
You going to go there soon and begin getting settled in?
Yeah, we've actually already started looking for homes, and we're trying to find a place as quick as we can to get settled, so my traveling back and forth will be as easy as possible, and when we want to take the family, it'll be easy.
What would you do, live in Kansas City year-round? Is that...
No, our home, we just got finished building a home in outside of San Francisco.
You're
so
kidding. Great.
Yeah, so we'll probably spend a good deal of time during the season in Kansas City, and then when the season's over, take the kids back to San Francisco and put them back in school again there. So we'll be going back and forth.
Joe, do you have, I know you're very busy, as most athletes are in their sport. Do you have time to keep up with the other sports to any degree?
Well, you try to keep up with each one a little bit. It's almost impossible unless you're just a huge fan of one sport to try to take one and follow it all the way through. I like watching baseball. I like watching basketball, race cars. I mean, it's just been a love from day one. And my son's all of a sudden, you'd be switching through the channels and you'll see race cars going around. He'll say, "Daddy, stop, stop." And he's only 3 years old. He wants to watch the cars. So it's difficult, though. You know, it's always constant training.
Another Napa Field summary showing you 19 cars on the lead lap. Do you ever have any desire to get out there and try this?
Well, I actually had one opportunity to drive in a Pro-Am in Long Beach.
Oh, yeah.
And it was exhilarating, to say the least. And I'll tell you, it gets in your blood like that. And I was willing to go further, but they kind of put a halt on it from the 49ers. So I would love to do it again, but I don't know if my wife would go for that.
There's Ernie once more trying to dive, excuse me, Joe, trying to dive inside Hut Strickland.
And while all that has been going on, Kyle Petty has sneaked into the picture, and now second, third, and fourth are just separated by a few car lengths.
Now, I'm sure the big wheels of San Francisco loved you out there driving those race cars, right? Those big contracts.
They didn't like that idea very much at all.
Well, now, Joe, you play most of your football games in the winter, but it is pretty warm on the football fields at some times. We've got an infrared camera set up here down at the end of turn number 1, showing where the heat comes from the cars and where it is on the racetrack. There it is. You can see how hot the brakes get, how hot the track gets.
Look at that. No, thank you.
And the inside of those race cars, if it showed that, it's extremely hot, too. I expect they're 135, 140 degrees inside.
I can believe that. Just in the short time I was in one, and that would compare nothing like these. Probably lose 4 or 5 pounds easily.
This is the third year in a row we've had the pleasure of meeting a top NFL star like yourself. Steve Largent was here a couple of years ago. Boomer Esiason was here last year, but it's great to get to meet you. And, of course, all this is in conjunction with Haynes, the sponsor of the race.
Oh, it definitely is. I've been associated with Haynes for about, since 1989, and I've had nothing but great times with them, and my wife and I both enjoy it. And we're just happy. That's the nice thing about it. Haynes has afforded me some other luxuries, like being able to come to my first race and going to the Crosby and things of that nature. And it's fun to get out, and they like to get you with the people, and that's what it's all about.
We understand that Ernie Irvan's car may be overheating. Kyle Petty has closed in on him now. Davey Allison is also entering this picture. John Kernan has a report.
Bob, Tony Glover and the crew have the water hose out. They're ready for Ernie just in case the temperature goes up. Apparently it has. Tony Glover has told Ernie Irvan to pit on the next lap. In fact, the crew springs into action. Kyle Petty goes around. Ernie slowing down. You can see the water coming out of the back of the race car, the overflow. Bad news for Ernie Irvan, who is running in second place. The water temperature had gone up to 240 degrees.
And here he comes. His pit is the very first one off of corner number 4. But the crew will go to work, raise the hood, try to get the car cooled off, and get him back in competition.
Man, they're having all kinds of trouble getting the hood up. John Kernan?
They had a problem with one of the hood pins, Benny, and also you see one of the crewmen taking a hammer, beating back the screen. That's to allow more air to get in the colder radiator. They're knocking the screen out in front. Now they're putting water, filling water up. Ernie sitting on pit road. A very bad break for the Kodak Film Chevrolet crew.
And each second he sets there, he gets a little bit further behind. Leader Rusty Wallace comes off the 4th corner, puts another lap on him. And Ernie can only sit there and wait for the crew to get finished. His best finish here in a Haynes 500 was 15th. This race in 1991. Meanwhile, now Davey Allison comes in on Kyle Petty, and Allison shoots by going into 3.
Well, you talk about coming in on him. He really went into that turn. Kyle gave him the running room down on the end for him to go down on the inside and make a pass.
And Davey Allison now moves to 3rd as Ernie Irvan comes back out onto the racetrack.
And so does Kenny Wallace. He's been in the pits for a long, long time. He's back on the racetrack.
Rusty Wallace, who's won the last 2 short track races, is in the lead here in Martinsville, looking for the sweep. There's Jeff Bodine, who is not on the lead lap, and he has been in that position since the green flag came out from the most recent caution period, but still has not been able to get that lap back that he lost very early. He was the pole sitter and the new track record holder. And we will be back with more from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia in the Haynes 500 and the Grand Marshal of the event, Joe Montana.
Introducing a cereal from Kellogg's. Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Taste them again for the first time.
At 180 miles an hour, Darrell Waltrip can't afford a bad part.
Ouch, man, that hurt. Like you, I need quality parts at the right price. And at Western Auto, we guarantee it. You'll find thousands of top name brand parts, all backed by Western Auto's unbeatable everyday low price guarantee. Right?
Right, DW. Pick up AC oil filters at Western Auto's unbeatable low price every day. AC oil filter. It's like buying time.
The right parts, unbeatable low prices. At Western Auto, we guarantee it.
Right, DW.
Fire from beneath the mountains gave the land its richness. And the land gave the richness to the coffee of Colombia. That's why Maxwell House uses more Colombian beans than anyone in America. Because better beans make better coffee. The coffees of Maxwell House, blended with rich Colombian beans. Always good to the last drop.
Track packs are brought to you by Quaker State. The Big Q is one tough motor oil.
Today we're going to talk about rear end camber. The object behind rear end camber is to keep the maximum footprint of the tire on the racing surface at all time. The most important part is in the middle of the corner and off. This particular housing has 1.9 degrees. The maximum allowable by NASCAR is 1.89 degrees. Achieving the maximum or the best setup in camber at a place like Martinsville is worth up to 2/10 in each corner. Over the course of a 500-lap race, that adds up to a lot.
And you'll remember a year ago, this was camber day when leader after leader fell out after breaking rear axles. Alan Kulwicki, Dale Earnhardt, Ernie Irvan among those that suffered the rear end problem.
And right now, Rusty Wallace certainly not having any problem. All the way back to there is second place. The 27 car of Hut Strickland, and Davey Allison has worked his way up to third place.
Good run for Davey. Joe, you remember last year when Davey had that horrible crash at Pocono? Did you see that?
Oh, how could I ever forget it? I'll tell you, it was devastating to me just to watch, and I'm sure it was as to all race fans.
I'm sure you've taken some hard hits, but maybe not quite that bad.
No, you know, that's the one thing. We take some pretty good lumps out there, but the thing that you admire about these guys is they really put their life on the line every time they go out on the track, and you never realize that until something unfortunate like that accident happens.
All right, got to put you on this spot. Who gave you the hardest hit that you can ever remember?
Oh, guy, that's so difficult. I've had a lot of them. A lot of them come real close, I'll tell you. It's really hard to pick one of them. But if I had to, for lack of a better, I'll say LT.
There you go. Here's Jerry Punch.
Talk about being fans. You know, Davey Allison is a big football fan, as are many of the drivers. And Davey told me before the race that he's a big Joe Montana and was a big 49ers fan. He said, you know, it meant so much to him last year when he was in the hospital in Pennsylvania after that violent crash at Pocono, that Joe Montana called the hospital to see how he was. Davey said that meant more to me than anything else that happened up there, was for someone like Joe Montana take their time and call to see how I was doing.
Well, thank you on behalf of racing.
Oh, hey, it's my pleasure. You know, there's nothing that you enjoy more than seeing other athletes competing well, and you hate to see anyone down. And whatever we can do to help get them back, or any kind of help their mental spirits, it's all I can do. Is my pleasure.
Davey Allison
had Hut Strickland passed at one time, but he got in traffic and Hut got back past him. Bob, there are a couple of cars that they've been working on. Ricky Rudd was behind the wall for a while. He's back on the racetrack. So is Kenny Wallace. But the number 4 car of Ernie Irvan is behind the wall. We saw him have that overheating problem a little bit earlier, so it has put him behind the wall at the moment.
Joe, I imagine it's pretty much a day of autograph signing for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been one of those. You know, the response here has just been overwhelming, and it really makes you feel good.
Davey Allison, the driver's snapshot, started 6th, currently 3rd. That's his highest position so far. His lowest has been 7th, and he has not led a lap so far. Joe, thanks for stopping up in the booth, and thank you for being the Grand Marshal of the Haynes 500, and good luck as a Kansas City Chief.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Joe Montana, the Grand Marshal, here this afternoon. Well, this battle between Davey and Hut rages on.
Davey is really trying his best to get by Hut, just can't make the pass. I think he's a little bit faster right now if he can just get in front of him.
Yeah, I agree with you. As you said, he got by him in traffic there a little bit ago, as we saw, but he just was not able to stay there. He got behind another car that was going a little bit slower, and Hut made the move to go by it, so he got back in front.
Now they go to the outside of Derek Cope in the 98 Bojangles car. The 26 car of Brett Bodine. This could be one of the fastest cars on the racetrack.
He is very fast. After they made their pit stop in particular, Bob, he has come back up through the field, made a good pit stop, and now being shown in the 4th position. And
Quaker State Ford of Kenny Bernstein, who is racing this weekend. Brett started 18th, moved to 12th, then 6th, stabilized at 6th, and then moved to 4th. That's his current position at the end of 159 laps. And the number 4 car of Ernie Irvan is out of the race. Little contact there between Derek Cope and Dale Earnhardt behind Brett Bodine. We have run several laps now without a caution as Rusty Wallace continues to lead this race. There's Dale. Hut Strickland running second. Davey Allison a close third, followed by Brett Bodine and Dale Earnhardt. We'll return with more in a moment from Martinsville.
Burt Reynolds for Quaker State.
The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will. You know, when it comes to protecting against friction, nothing beats Quaker State. When it comes to protecting against viscosity breakdown, nothing beats Quaker State. When it comes to keeping engines clean, nothing beats Quaker State. Take it from me, for unbeatable protection, nothing beats Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
From the days when they ripped through the sands of Daytona to tracks like Talladega and Darlington, racing fans have had a love affair with the drivers. To commemorate these heroes, Country Time presents our new Collector Series, featuring Kowicki, Gant, Shepard, Hamilton, Jarrett, and Darrell Waltrip. What better way to salute the men who risk it all on the Speedway and the fans who make it all worthwhile.
Son of a gun protectant. Nothing works better on your car's leather, vinyl, and rubber. It can turn just about anything into a great-looking car.
Nice car.
What, this pile of junk? Give it the gun with Son of a Gun. And now give your tires a quick kick with one-step tire care.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all, it's listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they've got a problem they're going to fix for themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
We're at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia for the Haynes 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race. And Major League Baseball on Tuesday night at 10:30 Eastern Time will feature the New York Yankees against the red-hot California Angels. 10:30 ESPN Tuesday Night Baseball, the Yankees and the Angels. Should be a great game. That's tomorrow night. Now here at Martinsville, we have Rusty Wallace still in the lead, and there he is.
He's trying to put a lap on Jimmy Spencer, who is right now in about 19th position.
Here's the battle for second that has been going on for several laps. Davey Allison just has not been able to get around Hut Strickland. 27 of Strickland battling the 28 of Allison.
And Brett Bodine had caught them the last time we looked at him, but they pulled away from him a little bit. Dale Earnhardt has called Brett Bodine back.
Here comes Davey once again, but Bobby Labonte's there. He has to back off.
Here's the interval. As you can see, Rusty has almost a 7.5-second lead over Hut, and then it's real close between Hut and Davey. Brett is just slightly behind that, and Dale Earnhardt running about 9 seconds behind in 5th. And Jerry is with Ernie Irvin.
Guys, he started 12th, drove all the way up to 3rd spot, and Ernie, now you're behind the wall. What happened?
Well, evidently blew a head gasket or something. I'm not a motorman, so I'm not real sure, but it ran hot from the start. So we had to change motors this morning. We don't know what happened, but the car was running really good, you know. One of our best runs here with the Kodak Stone Chevrolet.
That'll hurt you. You were 10th in the points.
Well, yeah, it's going to hurt the points, but, you know, not much you can do about it. We did all we could do to try to keep it running, but it started buking water out even after we cooled it off, so we had to park it.
Ernie Irvin, a tough day here at Martinsville. Let's check in on the back straightaway with John Kernan, who's got a little brake problem. John?
Jerry, we see brake problems here quite a bit. In fact, Derek Cope has just pulled in. The crewman had to jump out and hold the car to stop it, drag it down, because he has lost his brakes. In fact, there's a small fire there. They've now extinguished it under the right front. So the Bojangles racing crew will go to work on the car, try and fix it, and get Derek back out into the race. But this is about the time of the race, usually, that you see brake problems start cropping up.
A new brake system today. You remember back in Darlington that Kenny Schrader was fined $10,000 for having a brake system that recirculated the brake fluid? Well, NASCAR has approved that unit. As a matter of fact, they rescinded the fine. And Schrader did not pay a $10,000 fine. Speaking of Schrader, he's right in front of our leader, Rusty Wallace. But
just about to get lapped.
Anyway, they've approved that system, and several cars today have the system that every time you hit the brake, it recirculates fluid. It moves the fluid through the system, trying to put cool brake fluid in the caliper.
Schrader running in 15th position. So there are 15 cars on the lead lap, and he's trying desperately to stay on the lead lap. We'd love to see a caution about now.
Well, as you have mentioned throughout the race, brakes on a short track are probably the most important item on a race car. They're especially important here at Martinsville. And let's take a closer look.
This is a complete brake assembly on a Winston Cup car on one of the wheels. The dark gray piece, the brake caliper that houses the fluid. This is a recirculating valve. As you apply pressure, the valve opens, fluid goes through the system and recirculates back to the reservoir. The brake fluid goes in the top of the caliper. We can see where it goes in the top, all through the caliper, out the bottom, back to the reservoir, keeping the pedal consistent.
At Martinsville, that is a major problem, pedal consistency. Every time you press on the brake pedal, having it react the same as far as the ability to slow the race car down. If you have to go down the straightaway and pump the brake pedal before you get to the corner, you're not exactly sure where you've got to let off and how much brake pedal you've got to use to get into the corner at a consistent speed every time. So it really does hurt your lap times when you have that kind of a problem. With the recirculator valve, you're able to know the brake pedal's there all the time. It's the same spot. It's going to firm up on you, consequently making it much easier to drive Martinsville.
Comments there from Brett Bodine, who currently runs 4th in the Quaker State Ford. Here's Jimmy Hensley's foot cam.
And he has the recirculator valve in his. Tell you what, he better get the foot off. We can see he's got that left foot ready to go, but it's not hitting the brake. Down there he goes in the corner, hits the brakes.
Rusty Wallace just went around Hensley, put him a lap down. Hensley is in 14th position.
And we can see that he's got a pedal. He doesn't have to pump. He's pumping it just a little bit, but not too much. Normally these guys, you've seen them before, pump it like crazy. But with the recirculating valve, they're keeping the fluid cool, keeping that pedal consistent.
And John Kernan has a follow-up story.
Well, Benny, this is Willwood's answer to that recirculating. I mean, just this little bitty valve right here. You attach one on the hose that goes in, one on the hose that comes out of the caliper, and what it does is it recirculates. It allows the brake fluid to push in, then it pushes back out the other side. And these are only about $75. I say only about $75 for this little thing. The other brake circulating system, about $2,000 a race. So with this, you put it on all 4 tires, you're looking at about $600. And I'm telling you what, this thing is so simple that it's kind of hard to explain.
Okay, then we won't ask you to, John. Rusty Wallace continues to lap cars as he leads the Haynes 500 here at Martinsville, putting a lap now on the 30 car of Michael Waltrip, who runs in 12th position. There were 11 on the lead lap. Isn't there anything we
Don't wait. Get the news weekly of motoring, Auto Week. Don't wait for driving impressions. Auto Week drives them all and tells you about them first. Don't wait for car news. Auto Week covers the world. Auto shows, the new, the old, and brings it to you fast. Don't wait for racing news. Get the news weekly of motoring. Auto Week brings you the winningest coverage first. Don't wait. Get Auto Week, the news weekly of motoring, now. Call 1-800-828-4100 for this ESPN Race Weekend special. Get Auto Week at the lowest price ever, $17.95 for 52 issues. But don't wait. This offer expires midnight on Monday. Get Auto Week at the lowest price ever. Call 1-800-828-4100.
My dream was to have the whistle and the long pants, babe. That's it. I wanted to coach basketball.
Cancer can take away all my physical abilities. It cannot touch my mind, it cannot touch my heart, and it cannot touch my soul.
To join Jim Valvano in the fight against cancer, call 1-800-872-8300. With each donation of $25, you'll receive a Jimmy V Team T-shirt.
Don't give up, Jimmy V.
Don't ever give up.
We're back at Martinsville, and there is debris on the racetrack, as you can see. And on lap number 201, we have our 4th caution of the day. And this should result in mass hysteria on pit road.
Yeah, there were a lot of drivers, Bob, that wanted to come into the pits. Rusty Wallace will lead them down. He's pretty far out in front of everybody else, Jerry, so he should be able to make a good pit stop and get back out in front.
And they were about 37 laps away from their scheduled pit stop on lap 237. We are at lap 200 right now. The first time they came in on lap 87, it took them 16.94 seconds to change 4 tires. Everyone else in the 20-second range. Left side tires going on. Fuel in the car, off the jack, and Rusty Wallace is out and away. Let's check in the back straightaway with John Kernan.
Jerry, I'm in Brett Bodine's pit. A fine run for Brett, as he qualified 18th today and moved all the way to 4th. Rusty in turn 2 coming down the back stretch. Right side tires going on the Quaker State Ford. They are pitted all the way at the end of the back stretch. They will not make a chassis adjustment as Rusty goes by. Left side is now going on. What they've done, they've adjusted the air pressure just to tighten the car up just a little bit for Brett. Left side is now going on. Dale Earnhardt a fine pit stop. And Earnhardt almost beat Hut Strickland to the line, and Hut was pitting on the front stretch.
Yeah, Dale's going to fall into 3rd spot. Excellent, excellent performance.
And one thing that's helped that, John Kernan mentioned at the top of the show that for the first time, NASCAR, after the front stretch cars have been dropped off, the pace car speeds up and allows the other cars to get into the pits on the back stretch much earlier than they used to.
That does even it up somewhat. So pit stops have been completed here by just about everyone during our 4th caution. We'll take a break and be back with more of the Haynes 500.
America's first Napa Auto Parts.
Welcome to Napa, America's most complete source for quality auto parts and accessories. And now get hot spring buys at Napa. Quality Napa motor oil, just 99 cents a quart. Get 2 Napa Silverline oil filters, just $4. STP oil treatment is free after double mail-in rebate. And don't miss this special value. Napa's 5-piece cooler combo, just $19.99. Save big on hot spring buys now at Napa, America's first choice.
A hot new peanut just rode into town with a spicy taste that's getting everybody all fired up.
Got some more. Maybe you ought to practice with mild.
Try new Planters Heat in mild and hot.
We're here at McDonald's to tell you about
Breakfast economics.
Breakfast economics? It's a great breakfast at a great price.
It's a McDonald's thing. It saves you money. Pretty simple, isn't it?
Piece of cake.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
It's good, isn't it? It's great.
Are you an AT&T salesman?
Yes.
Is your company telling customers that MCI's 800 service isn't reliable?
Yes.
Is that the truth?
Yes.
The best defense is not to offend. Thus, introducing the new Right Guard Sports Stick. Now with a time-release formula for longer-lasting protection against hostile odor all day. For protection that endures.
It's crazy. They love it, but that's why they do it. They're the relentless men and women of sports, doing what most people think is impossible. Max Out premieres Monday, May 3rd on ESPN.
Just about to go back to green from our 4th caution here at Martinsville for debris on the racetrack. Now, let's take you to the crew cam worn by Gary Beveridge on Davey Allison's team. And we can see a couple of potential problems here.
He's a tire carrier. Ooh, Kyle Petty just grazed him as he went by. Gary Cord changing the rear tire. It's on. Gary goes back around, grabs the tire for the left rear. Looks like Raymond Fox on that left rear. All right, hurry up, Davey. Now David's got to back up. And he and Kyle Petty almost got together.
John Kernan.
A good pit stop for Dale Earnhardt, 19 seconds. David Smith said they were going to time their pit stops with this clock right here with a sweep second hand. These guys are in too good a mood back here on the backstretch. The other teams ought to worry.
Well, apparently Dale did beat Hut Strickland to the line when Dale was exiting the pits, and so Earnhardt is now second. Strickland third, followed by Kyle Petty and Brett Bodine as Rusty Wallace continues to lead. We are under green once again.
There again is going behind the wall. He has some sort of a problem with his Gold Bandit Chevrolet. Something perhaps in the engine.
We keep trying to find somebody that can run with Rusty Wallace, and I don't think Dale Earnhardt's our man, do you?
Doesn't look like it, does it? Rusty just pulled away. He had a big lead before this caution came out.
Almost a half lap on the then second place car of Hut Strickland, who now is in third place. There's Hut third and Kyle Petty fourth.
Rusty Wallace has led the most laps in 1993. In fact, has led the most laps in the 19 races since Buddy Parrott joined the team as crew chief. Here's Earnhardt's driver snapshot. He started 21st, passed a second-day qualifier, currently second. That's been his highest. His lowest, 22nd. And Earnhardt has yet to collect the 5 points for leading.
And we talked about the brake recirculating valve. Neither of these cars, the 2 or the 3, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, neither of these cars have the valve on their car. They think it's something else that could break, could give a problem. They don't have any brake problems, so they don't need it.
Derek Cope had gone behind the wall with a brake pop problem. He is back out on the racetrack now, many laps down.
Kyle Petty's getting pretty racy, Bob.
Yeah, he's looking to take third away from Strickland. Looks inside, going into one.
Where Kenny Wallace and Michael Waltrip got together coming off of turn 4, and Waltrip almost lost it, but he gathered it back in.
Has had a real steady ride from the 115th lap when he was 7th. He has moved to 2nd, moving to 6th at the end of 145. On lap 175, he was 4th, and now is in the runner-up spot.
And the pit stop was basically what got him up in the second. He was, about a 5th place car before the caution flag. Crew did a super job, got him out in 2nd place.
Many of the pit crews have been working on pit stops. As a matter of fact, the Wood brothers came here and rented the track. They didn't utilize the racetrack itself, but they came here simply to simulate pit stops. And they picked up a couple of seconds in an afternoon's work. And the number 12 car, Jimmy Spencer, has slowed down the straightaway as we show you an Autolite field summary.
There we can see the 2nd, 3rd, 4th place car going by Spencer as he's very, very slow.
We understand that maybe he has a transmission problem with the Meineke Ford.
He has pitted on the backstretch. Here's John Kernan.
Jimmy Spencer pulls it in. He's radioed in, says he's got a transmission problem. The hood will go up. The crew will go to work, Jimmy Finnegan and Cruz Ryan, to figure out what is wrong. They will look under. Jimmy just, all of a sudden, as you guys said, lost speed out on the front straightaway. Now they're looking around. It looks like it's going to be terminal. Jimmy getting ready to take the steering wheel off, taking the gloves off. Not a very happy camper right now.
Earlier, we lost the driver who was 10th in points going into this race, Ernie Irvin, and now Jimmy Spencer, who came into this race 9th in points, appears to be through for the day. But Rusty Wallace continues to set the pace, and the best battle on the racetrack is for third between Hut Strickland and Kyle Petty. Rusty, though, is just able to gain an advantage and keep it there, or stretch out the advantage a little bit. So far, in the 214 laps, he has the best car.
We started a revolution in the streets. And now it's hitting the water. Introducing the Yamaha Wave Blaster. Essentially, it's the world's most radically advanced bike. Now available on the water.
Splitfire earned a United States patent. Splitfire doesn't look like any other spark plug. And the patented Splitfire doesn't work like any other spark plug.
5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. Quicker in the quarter mile. A 4.8% gain in mileage.
There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage, or your money back. Get the guaranteed Splitfire advantage at leading automotive stores from coast to coast.
This is where America gets together. Every weekend throughout America, there is great NASCAR racing.
I wouldn't be anywhere else.
Courthouses are a major part of the identity of southern counties. And in 1793, the Martin County Courthouse was moved to Martinsville. The county was named after Patrick Henry, who once lived here. Martinsville itself was named for Joseph Martin, and the town was incorporated as a town in 1873 and as a city in 1929. And that's where we are, Martinsville, Virginia. This beautiful clay Earl's own half-mile racetrack, and Rusty Wallace is the leader of the Haynes 500. It is Earnhardt running second, then back to this battle between Hut Strickland and Kyle Petty.
And a good battle it has been for a good number of laps, Bob, but Kyle Petty just simply cannot find a place to pass. Hut Strickland's had somebody on his bumper all day.
All day long, he sure has.
Davey Allison, we saw them battle for a long, long time. Davey had that slower pit stop and dropped back a little bit. He's about a straightaway behind these two cars right now. But Kyle Petty is picking up the chase on Hut Strickland.
Here's the infrared shot showing you the heat, and that's how hot the groove is. You can see it all the way down the straightaway into the corner and how hot the cars are operating.
It must wonder what it takes to make the heat turn that car. It looks like about 100 degrees maybe.
Yeah, that's a good question. What triggers you? Yeah.
Probably more than
Ooh, Kyle and the 27th car almost made contact coming off that fourth corner.
Even on the back of the cars, you can see the heat trailing off.
Especially on the back of Hut Strickland's car, there's a lot of heat back there.
Yeah, a lot of heat.
Hut is feeling the heat on the back of his neck.
Now Petty got him.
I thought he was going to do it then, didn't you? Now he may use the slower car of Bobby Hillen here to get off the corner.
Now Hillen just go down and give him room and back off the gas now. Yep.
He's got him.
That was a great move on Kyle Petty's part. Saw the opportunity.
And a good move on Bobby Hillen's part as well.
Yeah.
He moved down completely out of the way and gave him plenty of racing room.
Yep.
That's right. When Hillen looked up and saw him side by side, he gave him all kinds of room.
You suppose it's hot enough to cook a quarter pounder in that McDonald's car?
I wouldn't doubt it.
We'll check that next time on our infrared.
There we see Harry Gandy's back out on the track, but not running up to speed, but he's behind the wall for a while. But there you see Harry, former winner here at Martinsville.
That's the guy that won the race that time. I said there's no way he was going to win, right?
That's right. As he added to his streak. Inside Dale Jarrett's Interstate Batteries Chevrolet. He is 10th. Just ahead of him is Mark Martin.
Mark Martin running 9th today. Martin has been able to make that charge. Normally this year, or most of the races this year, Mark Martin has had a car as good as anyone, but today he's just not been able to make that charge. Looks like he's a little bit off, and hasn't been able to adjust so far to run a competitive speed. Of course, I mean, 9th is not bad. but first is better.
Well, they're in some heavy traffic. You see Jimmy Hensley and Ken Schrader passing for position, and that is for position. Both of those drivers are a lap down.
Here's Dale's driver snapshot. Started 11th, currently 10th. His highest placing so far has been 8th on lap 212, and his lowest was 20th on lap 88. Not led a lap today, but few have.
Rusty Wallace has taken care of that, hasn't he?
He and Hud Strickland are just about eliminated. Here's Mark Martin trying to get on the inside of Schrader. He makes it. Now Dale Jarrett's going to follow him. Try to follow him anyway.
Boy, it's tough sometimes to get traction down on the inside. You cut that corner off pretty short coming off there. You need to be in position to make these turns as wide as possible. But when you're down on the inside of someone, you have to cut the car a little bit closer coming off, and it breaks traction with you. But Ken Schrader gives Jarrett some room there to make the pass. Kenny Wallace is running good now after he came back out. He spent a lot of time behind the wall, but he has been running good.
That's Wallace in the Dirt Devil Pontiac, car number 40. Might mention Pontiac, how well they have done at the manufacturer's points this year. They're 1 point behind going into this event. And of course, Rusty in a Pontiac has a lead. Here's a battle for position. That's Terry Labonte in 14 and Darrell Waltrip in 17.
Battling for 7th. Darrell has it. Labonte, now he came out of the pits behind Jarrett and Martin. Passed both of them, ran Waltrip down. Now trying to pass him. Well, I'll tell you, that bang-up car that he got early in the race. In fact, I think it was on the second lap when he got this, when Jeff Bodine had the problems over there. And the car is running well for Ford.
This is Jimmy Hensley's perspective as we saw the in-car there behind Darrell and Terry. There it is.
On the throttle, accelerating down the front straightaway. I tell you what, Hensley's got his car adjusted. He's running better now than he has all day. I noticed the last green flag run, his car got extremely loose, but on the caution flag for debris, they made Paul Andrews, the crew, made some chassis changes, and his car's pretty good right now.
We're only 3.5 laps away from the halfway point of this event. 246 are completed. Rusty Wallace is in turn 3. About to complete 247. Great shot of the foot cam.
As we're watching Jimmy Hensley's feet operate in the Bojangles Ford, we'll say that Kyle Petty, that battle that we were watching, finally got around Hut Strickland for the 3rd position. And has moved away from him a little bit.
And some telemetry now. Slowing down to about 70, 60, 61 miles an hour, then hard on the throttle.
111 miles an hour maximum. Let's watch the RPMs one time. 4,500 to a low, accelerates rapidly. 7, 8, 8,400.
That is 3,800 RPMs that it gains down the straightaway.
Wow.
Of course, they build those engines to do that. They put a special cam in them for this racetrack where they have to accelerate off the turns, one that'll gain those RPMs in a hurry.
And while we're watching Jimmy Hensley, we can tell you that Jimmy Spencer, who we earlier reported as possibly having a transmission problem, broke a crank on the car.
I thought when they raised the hood, they was looking for transmission in the wrong place.
The halfway point has been reached. Rusty Wallace is the leader at the halfway point, and our Western Auto Race summary shows that Rusty has led 162 of the first 250 laps. There are 11 cars on the lead lap, 2 leaders, 4 lead changes. The 2 leaders have been Wallace and Strickland. 4 caution periods for 24 laps, and the average speed is 79.82 miles an hour. There is the indication of who has led. Only Wallace and Strickland. Strickland for 88 laps. Out of the race, Bobby Hamilton, Wally Dallenbach, Ernie Irvan, and most recently, Jimmy Spencer. Here's the Western Auto Mechanic of the Year standings. Dale Earnhardt's crew chief Andy Petrie is on top. Buddy Parrott from Rusty Wallace's team is second. Then comes Tony Glover from Ernie Irvin's team, Donnie Wingo from Jeff Bodine's, and Steve Meal from Mark Martin's Valvoline Ford team is fifth in the standings for Western Auto's Mechanic of the Year.
Good competition going there.
Yeah, there sure is some real tight competition. And so it is on the racetrack, although Rusty has a rather comfortable lead now. He's about a straightaway ahead of Dale Earnhardt and Kyle Petty in the Haynes 500.
At 180 miles an hour, Darrell Waltrip can't afford a bad part.
Ouch, man, that hurt. Like you, I need quality parts at the right price. And at Western Auto, we guarantee it. You'll find thousands of top name brand parts, all backed by Western Auto's unbeatable everyday low price guarantee. Right?
Right, DW. Pick up AC oil filters at Western Auto's unbeatable low price every day. AC oil filter. It's like buying time.
The right parts, unbeatable low prices. At Western Auto, we guarantee it.
Right, DW.
Hey, is that what I think it is? Yeah, it's my new Wagner Power Painter. Well, can you edge with it? Yeah, you can edge like this, or adjust it to control the paint up close. And when I'm done, I'm gonna switch nozzles and stain my deck. Do a lot of other jobs I've been meaning to do. Well, does it clean up easy? Yeah, it's quicker than you think.
Why am I painting this by hand?
Good question. Get a Wagner.
Burt Reynolds for Quaker State.
The big Q stands for quality. Always has, always will. You know, when it comes to protecting against friction, nothing beats Quaker State. When it comes to protecting against viscosity breakdown, nothing beats Quaker State. When it comes to keeping engines clean, nothing beats Quaker State. Take it from me, for unbeatable protection, nothing beats Quaker State. It's one tough motor oil.
The average speed so far in the Haynes 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race here at Martinsville is a record 80.254. The current average, the track record is 79.3. That was set by Cale Yarborough in September of 1988.
1978.
Well, I'm sorry, 78. We're very glad to announce to you that we will have all three big events from Atlanta Motor Speedway in November. Well, we're going to make this championship weekend because we will determine the champion of the ARCA Series on Friday. On Saturday, the Busch Grand National race, and the champion will be decided there. And then the final NASCAR Winston Cup race of the season on Sunday, the 14th at 12:30 Eastern Time. There is the interval board showing you that Dale Earnhardt is 2.78 seconds behind Rusty. Kyle is 5 1/4 seconds behind Rusty. Hut Strickland is almost 8 seconds behind, and Allison almost 8 1/2 seconds behind as Rusty Wallace continues to dominate this event. Everything going well for the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac, but not so well for Mark Martin, who has dropped off the pace in recent laps and now goes a lap down to Rusty.
Boy, the chassis just seems to have gone away on Mark's car. It hasn't run good since this last pit stop, so I don't know if that set of tires he got on was mismatched a little bit or something, but anyway, the car just hasn't run as well for him, so he's a lap down.
The infrared camera we have down in turn 1 can show you things that you will not see with the naked eye. Now watch closely as the cars come down the straightaway. To the left of your screen, you'll see something come off a car. There it is, and it looks like it hits the debris fence and just explodes. What could that have been? Any ideas, guys?
Unless it was part of a brake pad, I can't imagine. It's about the place that the cars are backing off the throttle, about the place they're hitting the brakes. So all I can think is just a piece of the pad came off, flew up in the air.
It was something hot, we know that.
It was hot, yes. Rusty Wallace, if he wins, it'll be his 3rd straight.
And after he passed Mark Martin, put him a lap down, there are only 10 cars on the lead lap.
Hut Strickland and Davey Allison. These guys have been running together for seems like about 200 laps.
Well, it was for a while. Kyle Petty was on the back bumper of Hut Strickland. He finally got around him, and then Davey Allison caught him. So That's a familiar sight in his rearview mirror because they did race for, seemed like almost 100 laps before. Davey was not able to get around it.
This is 4th and 5th. Strickland 4th. Davey Allison is 5th.
Bill Parsons in the yellow car on the inside, car 41, and here Davey got to run. Bill sees him just like Hillen did, moves over, but Hut Strickland pulls Davey down the back straightaway.
I've noticed a couple of cars that are beginning to make a second groove work a little bit. Darrell Walter, of course, he usually is one of those that can run in the second groove. He's tried several different areas of the racetrack, but they're getting a little bit of traction up in that second groove now. So some of them, so maybe the inside groove is probably just getting real slick.
Autolite field summary showing you the 10 cars were on the lead lap ago. Bill Elliott is 115 laps behind in 30th, although he's still out there.
And Ricky Rudd out there 122 laps behind.
Now, if they could keep running, some of those cars that dropped out recently, like Jimmy Spencer, they would be able to pick up another position, and another position is 3 points.
Brett Bodine, Darrell Waltrip, and Dale Jarrett.
This is 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Inside the Interstate Battery Chevrolet.
Now you see how close they go down to that curving going into turn 3 and coming off of turn 4. But in turns 1 and 2, Darrell had been running a little higher, but he's moved back down now, protecting that territory. There he went a little bit high. That might not have been intentional, though.
Dale Jarrett entering this race 8th in the point standings, 238 behind Rusty Wallace.
He closes up on Darrell right in the middle of the corner. Hard enough to get alongside and go down the front straightaway or back straightaway.
Doesn't look like he's able to accelerate fully off the turns. I guess it's just slick, and not many of them are able to get that kind of traction, except maybe Rusty Wallace.
Sun-baked, sold-out crowd here at Martinsville. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful weather, just like we had last weekend in North Wilkesboro. We'll hope for the same next week as we travel to the world's fastest superspeedway, Talladega. We go from the shortest and the slowest to the fastest and the longest. Bill Parsons being lapped by Dale Jarrett.
Bill is currently being shown in the 24th position.
6 laps behind.
Now Darrell Waltrip, we saw Dale Jarrett trying to get by Darrell Waltrip. Now Waltrip is trying to get by Brett Bodine.
Well, I'm sure their spotters have told them that Rusty Wallace is only about a straightaway behind them, so they need to run as fast as they can if this thing stays green, but it isn't going to. The yellow flag is out right now, as a matter of fact.
And a great break for Jeff Gordon, who was just about to go a lap down. He was within inches of going a lap down. The yellow comes out, and the field is slowed. I assume this is for more debris on the racetrack because we don't see any car in trouble. It comes on lap 287.
Since we don't see any cars on the track, it must be a piece of debris someplace. Meanwhile, we're going to see a bunch of pit stops. The crew's ready.
The pace car has the field very, very slow through the 3rd and 4th turns. And let's go down to Jerry Punch as they come in here on the front stretch. Remember, Dale Earnhardt will pit on the back. Jerry?
Well, Rusty Wallace, the first car to come down pit road behind him very slowly, 35 miles per hour. Here's Kyle Petty, Hut Strickland, and Davey Allison. The right side tires are already going on. 1 can of fuel in. They're already down the left side. Bill Wilburn, left front tire going on. Left rear already on lug nuts. And Rusty is off the jet. Let's check into Dale Earnhardt pit.
Tires already going on Dale Earnhardt's car. 1 can of gasoline in. Ranks are on. David Smith swings the jack around underneath the car. They will go to work on the left side now. Rusty Wallace exiting turn number 2. Dale Earnhardt still sitting on pit road, but he is down and away. Another fine stop for the Goodrich crew.
Now can he get out ahead of Kyle Petty, who is coming down the backstretch? I believe that Dale might be able to fall into second behind Rusty again, as Dale Jarrett had some trouble on pit road.
Well, he made an awfully good pit stop, Bob, about a 19.5-second pit stop, but the NASCAR officials held him for a little bit. Apparently, I don't know if he came down pit road too fast or was over the line a little bit, or just what the deal was. Must have been coming down the road too fast.
Well, looks like the NASCAR has. And Hutch Strickland, did he get lapped in the pits, Ned?
Well, he must have.
He just now coming out. I don't know.
Dale Earnhardt insists that he should go in behind Rusty and not behind Kyle. And I agree, because as Dale accelerated out of the pits, he hit the line before Kyle Petty
Are they
did.
talking about that yellow line at the end of pit road? Is
Yes.
that the line they're talking about?
Yes,
okay.
I believe so. And Dale did cross that stripe before Kyle got there. Well, they're going to discuss it, and we'll tell you who wins the argument when we come back to Martinsville, Virginia Speedway. You are watching the Haynes 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race. We'll be back in a moment.
Welcome to Stone Mountain. Population 6,400, mostly commuters.
People want a whole breakfast, but it's got to fit in one hand.
Hi, welcome to Hardee's.
An ultimate omelet biscuit. It's a real omelet. I just fold it up.
I hit Hardee's, then I hit the highway.
It's got bacon and a lot of cheese on my made-from-scratch biscuit.
Breakfast for under $1. And I usually beat the bosses.
Are you ready for some real food? Hardee's.
I've been Olympic champion, British champion, and European champion. And now I'm the world champion. There isn't anyone that can beat me. Tony Tucker is the #1 contender in the world. He's a former heavyweight champion. But like I said, no one can beat me.
Lewis versus Tucker. Heavyweight Championship, Saturday, May 8th. Live on pay-per-view with all your cable companies.
Take a Sunday drive at Talladega Super Speedway at speeds reaching 200 miles an hour. The Winston 500, Sunday afternoon at 2 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Back at Martinsville, we're about to go green after this caution period. Now, the question was when we left you, should Dale Earnhardt go into second? Now watch, he will cross the line right there at the end of pit road, and he will reach that point before Kyle Petty comes along. There's Kyle. So Dale should go into second, and he will. Now, the other story occurred on pit road.
On the other side of the pit road. Here we see Jeff Gordon coming down pit road. See the McDonald's car sitting in the pits? Well, Jeff Gordon comes in his pits. They're changing right sides on the McDonald's car. The right side is up. Gordon comes in, and there he hits the 27 car, knocks it off the jack. Now then, the 27 has to go back, jack it up. He loses a lap. The 27 car, the McDonald's car, is a lap down. NASCAR penalized the 24 car a lap for the contact on pit road.
And so both Hutch Strickland and Jeff Gordon are a lap down to the field as the green comes out. We go back to racing, and there's a contact there between Earnhardt and Strickland in turn number 4. Well, it's a tough break for Strickland, who had run so well and had been one of 2 drivers to lead this race. Now it's Wallace, Earnhardt, Kyle Petty. Running in 4th position is Davey Allison, and 5th is Terry Labonte.
Darrell Waltrip is 6th, and Dale Jarrett is 7th. Brett Bodine is 8th. Those are the only 8 cars on the lead lap. Now that those 2 cars lost a lap, we had 2 cars on the lead lap, but 2 of them lost the lap in that little pit altercation.
This is the dog cam, they call it. The reason they call that.
You call it.
Well, you've seen those trucks riding down the road with a dog hanging out the right window. Well, we got the camera hanging out the right.
Okay.
Dale Jarrett and Darrell Waltrip.
They moved Jarrett into the 6th position. Darrell's car seems to be pushing a little bit right in the center of the corner. He's not quite up to speed yet. He'll go in a minute, I'm sure. There he is. he's sticking down on the inside of the racetrack, but not getting off the turn too good.
No, he's really having problems getting back on the throttle and accelerating down the straightaway.
There's Labonte right behind the pole sitter, Jeff Bodine, who was involved in a second lap crash. And now Labonte tries to shove Jeff out of the way there in the second turn. That's where it occurred on the second lap, almost did on this lap. Here's Terry Labonte's serial. Started 19th, moved to 10th, 8th, 5th, and remains in 5th position as we have moved inside the 300 lap mark. Less than 200 laps to go in this one.
They'll have another pit stop to make. At least one more.
The crinkled Kellogg's Cornflakes machine.
Dennis Rader has his car going pretty well now. Ooh, Darrell Waltrip and Jeff Bodine swapping a little bit of paint.
And Brett Bodine is right behind Darrell.
Brett is the 8th place car. He is still in the lead lap.
The two brothers started on the front row last weekend at North Wilkesboro. Now they race side by side on the track, although Jeff is not on the same lap as Brett.
Believe it or not, Jeff Bodine started on the pole, and the second lap of the race, he and Kyle Petty made some contact, and he spun. Remember last week, he and Ernie Irvin made contact on the very first lap he spun. Well, he and Kyle Petty made some contact on the second lap coming off turn 2, and Jeff Bodine spun. Got a lap down and really has never been able to get it back.
No, he's still one lap down. He's in 12th position at the moment.
Here's the driver snapshot on Darrell Waltrip. Started 26th, currently 7th. He's been as high as 5th and low as 26th. He has not led a lap. Darrell Waltrip, who has 11 victories on this speedway, 5 in this event, 6 in the fall race. His most recent win in this event was in 1989. As a matter of fact, he won both races that year.
And Hut Strickland has slowed going into turn 3, really at a slow pace. The McDonald's Ford.
Looks like he's got a flat tire.
Could have, and maybe some of that contact we saw a little bit in there earlier might have cut a tire down.
Hut brings it in. His pit is way down toward turn number 1. Coming in very slowly.
Boy, had run so well all the day long, and then just all of a sudden,
it's more than a tire problem. He's talking it over with the crew members and is in no hurry whatsoever to get anything done. Jerry, got any idea what the problem is?
What we're hearing is that possibly is the rear gearing in the car is gone. The car would not pull any longer. Hunt has been on the radio and is now talking with the crew. Said, I'm going to be headed for the truck, but pit road is blocked. Actually, the area behind pit road is blocked. They're working on some of the other cars back here, including the Ricky Rudd machine. And so now Hut Strickland's crew waiting on that car.
There's Rusty Wallace, who continues to lead this race. He's been pretty dominant.
Yes, very dominant.
Yeah. Well, that's an understatement, Bob.
He has led 223 laps of the 314 that we have completed. Now, Dale Earnhardt has led 1 lap. So Earnhardt and Strickland are the only other 2 drivers to lead today besides Rusty.
Well, Rusty's led 223, and I think Strickland led about 60 or 70. So Rusty will get the bonus points for leading the most laps today.
Here's Davey Allison running with Terry Labonte.
Labonte has caught Davey Allison.
That's a race for 4th place.
Now we're inside Dale Jarrett's car, and Schrader, Labonte, and Allison are right ahead of him.
There we see Kenny Schrader right directly in front of Jed, the Kodiak Chevrolet.
Schrader's car is running good now, the Kodiak Chevrolet. He's gone a couple of laps down. He's currently being shown in the 13th position, 2 laps behind the leader.
There goes Labonte on the inside, takes a look. Davis shuts the door, can't make the pass this time.
No, they made the chassis adjustment on during that last pit stop, and it looked like for a little bit it might be going to help him. And I don't think we ever explained what happened to him when he got penalized. They had too many men over the wall, and so he was penalized in the pits. However, he did stay on the lead lap. Boy, Labonte is all over Davey Allison up there.
You'd have to be aggravated driving a race all day long with a hood for stuff like that, so you can't really judge where your right front tire is.
Well, he's got a little bit more room to work with over there. You don't get up on it quite with that right front corner as he would have if it wouldn't be bashed in.
Of course, that one does give you an awfully good excuse if you hit somebody.
So, yeah, I couldn't see.
I couldn't see.
I think probably Terry wrinkled that nose intentionally so it pushed the cornflakes up so you could see it better on camera, huh? Yeah. You know, earlier when we showed you our infrared camera in the early part of the race, how the groove only showed glowing white. Now the whole track is.
That means the whole track's hot, right?
Yep. Only those areas right out beside the outer wall and right down on the inside are not showing hot. Look at this. Except right down to the right on the along the wall, the whole track is hot.
Well, they've gotten this whole. If you get down there, I'm sure, and stand up next to that wall, it would be the temperature would be increased considerably because the brakes are 2,000 degrees. The engine, the exhaust system is 1,200 degrees. It's hot inside those race cars.
Heck, it's hot in here, and we have air conditioning.
Exactly.
Not nearly that hot, though.
Labonte still trying to work around Davey Allison for fourth place. 8 cars remain on the lead lap.
And 3 of those cars are pitting on the backstretch. So, you know, we keep talking about what a kiss of death it is, but NASCAR today, by speeding up the pace car, they have made the playing field a little more level.
It was a good move on NASCAR's part to do that. I think it has equaled out the field a little bit.
It has certainly helped, no doubt about it. I've wondered in the past why they didn't do that, and it was not my suggestion that they did it. Somebody else apparently had the same thought, so they made that ruling. Well, the body is really working on Davey Allison.
Rusty Wallace continues to lap traffic, putting another one on Bill Parsons. Ahead is Jeff Gordon, who lost a lap on the pit penalty. Closing the gap, however, is Dale Earnhardt. And on Thursday of this coming week, April 29th, Dale Earnhardt will celebrate his 42nd birthday. Here's Jerry Punch with Hut Strickland.
After starting on the front row, he now sits in the car behind the wall, trying to cool off. And Hut, the air coming out of that hose is pretty warm, but what happened to the car?
I'm not really for sure, Jerry. I think it stripped the gear in the rear end. I come off turn 2 over there. Trying to get my lap back there. You know, we had a little mishap there in the pits, and Jeff Gordon knocked us off the jack. But, you know, that's racing. You know, we'll come back next week at Talladega and get them.
You've been awfully optimistic. The car has run better and better every week. Mike Hill and the crew have done a great job.
Well, they certainly have. I tell you, you know, everybody on this whole McDonald's, Texas Pete, Snap-on, Mr. Pibb, you know, team is just doing a super job on working this Ford. You know, it's just one of them things, you know, we can't help. All the guys, you know, it just gives us a more boost for next week at Talladega.
Well, they're under the car trying to change the gear, trying to get Hut back in it, but that gear is extremely hot.
Hut Strickland with his best start at a Winston Cup race today, 2nd. There's the leader of the event, Rusty Wallace, going for 3 in a row. The question is, can Dale Earnhardt close the gap and make a race out of this? Dale is 2nd, Petty is 3rd, Allison 4th, and Terry Labonte is 5th.
Mountain man survival skills. The basics. A true mountain man must have a keen sense of direction, a certain physical dexterity, and a talent for surviving the most unforgiving climates. Of course, nothing is more key to a mountain man's survival than plenty of smooth bush beer and easy drinking bush light. So, head for the mountains and learn how the mountain man survives even the most grueling conditions.
We're here at McDonald's to tell you about
Breakfast Economics.
Breakfast economics? It's a great breakfast at a great price.
It's a McDonald's thing. It saves you money. Pretty simple, isn't it?
Piece of cake.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
It's good, isn't it? It's great.
when life turns up the heat.
Can they start the wedding without me?
This shouldn't take long, honey.
Nothing protects you like Degree antiperspirant. It's body heat activated to release extra protection. Degree, your body heat turns it on.
When 280 seemed out of reach, it's Joe Amato and Autolite who punch it. The wall goes to 290. Connie Coletta and Autolite smash it. 300, the barrier. Kenny Bernstein and Autolite shatter it. Autolite and the record breakers. Wow, I feel good. We feel pretty good about that.
Rusty Wallace continues to lead the Haynes 500 here at Martinsville, Virginia. Kyle Petty is second, and Earnhardt, who was running third, is slowing on the backstretch. John Kernan, what do you know?
Andy Petrie has told Dale to back way off. They're running on 7 cylinders. They think that Dale may have broken a valve spring. Tough news after the job this crew did here on the backstretch, and Dale has been running in second for quite some time.
Well, Kyle Petty was able to get around Dale Earnhardt several laps ago. Dale hung right in there, but now is falling back. Here is how Kyle got second place from Dale.
Going in turn 3, just accelerates, stands on the brake pedal, goes inside Earnhardt, and basically just takes the position away.
So a possible broken valve spring puts Earnhardt back now. He has lost, I believe, yeah, he's lost third. He's back to fourth.
And Terry Labonte coming up on him right now. So
there we see Labonte closing up on Earnhardt.
Should be able to pass him with relative ease. Dale pulls over and Terry takes the spot away.
There's something a little more severe than a broken valve spring.
Oh, and Earnhardt and Mark Martin
make contact.
Together.
What a job Mark Martin did in saving that car.
He saved it. No caution.
Man, oh man, looked like Bill Elliott at North Wilkesboro last week.
You can see as Dale Jarrett goes by how much more power he has on the straightaway. Earnhardt can stay with him in the turns, but
once again, here's Mark Martin trying to get by and some contact, and the car gets almost 90 degrees. Looked like about 60 degrees sideways, and Martin saved her.
Yep, did a good job.
Roof cam on Martin's Valvoline Ford.
Right behind Dale Jarrett's Interstate Battery Chevrolet.
Rusty Wallace leads.
I tell you what, when you see the RPMs that we saw earlier on Mark Martin's car, like 86, 8700 RPM, the valve frame, the rocker arms, the valve spring, push rods, all that stuff takes such a tremendous beating. I don't know any of them lasted. Obviously, Earnhardt didn't last all day.
Kyle Petty runs in second spot.
But he's the second place car, but he's not gaining on Rusty, is he, Ned? Doesn't look like he is.
No, I don't think he is, Benny. In fact, right now, he's pulling away just a little bit. He was about 4 7/10 seconds behind him a minute ago. We'll reflect him when he comes back to his
third place is Davey Allison. There he is.
There comes Davey off the corner. Haviland Starport Thunderbird. As Jerry said in his opening, came up, tested for 3 days, ran 675 laps. Their goal to pit on the front straightaway.
Well, they achieved that goal, and if they keep going, they're going to achieve a very good finish. Labonte is fourth. That's Dick Trickle.
Trickle looked like they might have a little bit of contact, but Labonte goes right on by. Rusty Wallace is lapping Dale Earnhardt. He just did lap Dale Earnhardt.
So very quickly from running in second spot to a lap down for Dale Earnhardt.
Now there are only 7 cars on the lead lap.
Well, I tell you what, Rusty's stuff is just bulletproof this year, isn't it? Or I shouldn't say that. Let me knock on wood. Where's your head, Bob?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, he has been very, very dominant on the short tracks. Now, some people don't consider Richmond a short track. They call it an intermediate track, and if that was the case, then Rusty won the 2 short track races so far and is looking for number 3. John Kernan, an update on Dale Earnhardt.
Dale had radioed in a few laps ago telling Richard Childress the car was cutting on and off on him. They thought it was a valve spring. Now Dale tells Richard on the radio that it feels more like a bad camshaft. So they have told Dale to back way off. They're trying to milk all the mileage out of this engine that they can.
Earnhardt continues to drop back, and when he and Mark Martin got together a couple of minutes ago in turn number 4, here's how it looked like from Dale Jarrett's perspective.
Hey, I like to save money as much as the next guy. But what are the odds that there's going to be a sale on the parts you need when your car breaks down? Hey, it's not going to happen. That's why I go to AutoZone. I mean, sure, you could wait around for a couple weeks and maybe beat their price by a few pennies someplace else. But I don't want to wait for a sale when I need a part. Now, what more could you ask for?
If you can't wait, you need the News Weekly of Motoring, Auto Week. If you can't wait for driving impressions, get Auto Week. Auto Week drives them all and tells you about them first. If you can't wait for car news, get Auto Week. Auto Week covers it all. The great old cars, the auto shows. Auto Week's columnists are controversial and fast. And if you can't wait for racing news, get the News Weekly of Motoring. Auto Week races to bring you the winningest coverage first. If you can't wait, get Auto Week, the News Weekly of Motoring, now. Call 1-800-828-4100 for this ESPN Race Weekend special. Get Auto Week at the lowest price ever, $17.95 for 52 issues. But don't wait. This offer expires midnight on Monday. Get Auto Week at the lowest price ever. Call 1-800-828-4100.
Imagine waking up on a sunny spring morning and looking out over your estate from the Beaver Creek Plantation. This home was built in 1837, is in the National Register of Historic Places in the Blue Ridge Mountain foothills, just outside of Martinsville. It's currently used as a private cosmetic surgery clinic. And Benny, it's for sale, so get your bid in as soon as possible. That's a beautiful place, isn't it?
It sure is.
Here's the interval.
Do they do facelifts and all that? I'm not going to stand some of that. How about hair? Do they do hair?
or a belly lift. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Here's the interval leaderboard. Kyle Petty about almost 4 seconds behind. Davies almost 10. Terry Labonte is 10.2, and Dale Jarrett is running 5th and is about 12.6 seconds behind Rusty Wallace.
And there goes Rusty.
And Dale Earnhardt has slowed dramatically, even slower than he was earlier, and is trailing a big plume of smoke from the back of the GM Goodrich Chevrolet.
There goes Rusty. We're looking for second place, and there he is on the outside of the 44 car, the STP Pontiac. There he goes, the mellow yellow Pontiac, Kyle Petty.
Right behind him is the 30 car, the Pennzoil Pontiac, driven by Michael Waltrip, who had a good starting position, but currently he is 14th.
Davey Austin, a third place car. And Cal and Davey were third and fourth in the points, so they will gain some considerable ground on Earnhardt today if everything stays together. There's
Terry Labonte in the Cornflakes car, the Kellogg's Cornflakes Chevrolet, having a good run here today, hitting on the backstretch, running 4th.
And there comes the 5th place car, the Interstate Battery Chevrolet, Dale Jarrett.
Now we'll show you the rest of the field as we jump inside Dale's car, show you how everybody else is running with an Auto Light Field summary.
As we're inside this car, Hutch Strickland just preparing to pull back on the Speedway in the McDonald's car. There he is.
Waiting for traffic to clear.
There he goes, slowly. And away goes.
Now, Ted Musgrave is out of the race. I don't think we've ever mentioned the fact that he was out with the Jasper Engines US Air Ford. Went out a little while ago.
Hutch Strickland led 88 laps earlier. Developed the problem and had to go to the behind the wall to get repairs made, and he's back out there. And there is Earnhardt, who, as you can see, is smoking badly, and this is going to hurt him in the points because he came into this event 18 behind Rusty in second spot.
Kyle Petty by him another time. What's that, about 3 times he's passed him?
Yeah, I think that's right. He's just dropping farther back in the field. Earnhardt right now being shown in the 13th position, 3 laps down.
There is the 11 car. And you know, in the open of the show, how we talked about the tools of the trade change when you come to a short track. Looks like the Junior Johnson Mike Beam crew will have its work cut out for it this coming week. I don't imagine this is the car that they will run next week into Talladega, but this one definitely has had some damage sustained today.
Yeah, it looks like they've used some sludgehammers and hacksaws.
Sledgehammers, as Chocolate Myers says. It's easy to pick this car out on the infrared camera because it doesn't have a hood on it. You're looking right into the glowing hot engine. Here it is.
Yeah.
See it?
Tell you what, everything's hot down there.
It sure is. The grass is nice and cool, but that's about it. Budweiser Ford, driven by Bill Elliott. He is 28th.
And we can see this how our camera picks up all that heat without the hood being on the car. And Jimmy Hensley is in the pits. The Bojangles Ford unscheduled pit stop inside the car. We see someone inside the car.
They say it might be a battery problem, but they're just changing the tires. The battery located most of the time they put it in front of the left rear wheel.
Left rear wheel, they might be. Don't look like doing anything there.
No battery problem there. Just tires.
Jimmy had to relinquish 12th position to come in for that tire change.
Now that should put him in position to go the rest of the distance. Everybody else will have to make a pit stop. There's not time for those stops yet, but
we have 112 laps to go. This is our Armor All bumper cam looking back on the field in the Haynes 500. Rusty Wallace has dominated so far with 110 laps to go.
At Yamaha, we've always left the competition in the dust. And now it's time they took a bath. Introducing the Yamaha Pro VXR, the world's leading personal watercraft. When it comes to acceleration, we're flat out better.
Over the years, I've made a lot of trips back and forth to Vegas.
So how's it going this trip, George?
The odometer was broken for over 50,000 miles, so I say we've got 300,000 miles on this car.
Hi, George.
This beauty's a living example of what can be done with proper maintenance and AC Delco.
Hi, George.
AC Delco parts. It's like buying time.
Now through May 15th, get started with up to $14 cash back on Delco Freedom batteries.
From the days when they ripped through the sands of Daytona to tracks like Talladega and Darlington, racing fans have had a love affair with the drivers. To commemorate these heroes, Country Time presents our new collector series, featuring Kowicki, Gant, Shepard, Hamilton, Jarrett, and Darrell Waltrip. What better way to salute the men who risk it all on the Speedway and the fans who make it all worthwhile.
Welcome back to Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, the Haynes 500 NASCAR Winston Cup race here on ESPN Speed World. Tomorrow night, ESPN's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs continue. Can anyone bring down the dynasty of the Pittsburgh Penguins and Mario Lemieux? Well, our game tomorrow night at 7:30 features the Detroit Red Wings against the Toronto Maple Leafs. Boy, a great game Saturday night on ESPN. Buffalo and Boston, and the Detroit-Toronto game should be great, too.
You must have grown up where there's ice.
No, as a matter of fact, I didn't. I got interested in hockey when I lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana, the Comets, and I've just been a hockey fan ever since.
Well, good for you. I've never been to a game.
You should go.
And the 14 car in the pits.
He was running fourth. Terry Labonte. John, he's headed toward you.
Bob, Terry pitted last on lap 289. That's only about 117
laps ago. But Pete Wright, the crew chief, told me that the carburetor is flooding, so it is messing up their gas mileage. They're not getting as good a gas mileage. This will be a 4-tire change. They will be able to go the rest of the way here. Labonte sitting patiently in the race car as the left side tires are going on. No chassis adjustment just yet. The tires are on. Terry Labonte is away 20.2 seconds.
The Kellogg's Cornflakes car now is ready to go the distance.
I believe he would be 2 laps down right now. He was running about a half a lap behind Rusty Wallace before he came in. So he's 2 laps down. He's about a turn behind Wallace right now, but others will have pit stops to make. If it stays green, shouldn't hurt him too bad.
You see that 20-second pit stop, as hot as it is, a lot of these drivers wish it took 40 seconds right now just to sit, relax, get a nice cool drink. But no, they've got to get back out just as fast as they possibly can because time is positions and money.
The average speed of the race is still a record, 79.7. The track record is 79.3. There's Wallace putting a lap on the pole sitter, Jeff Bodine. Jeff is currently running in 10th position. He is 2 laps down. But he's going to salvage a fairly decent finish out of what started out to be a very horrible day for Jeff.
Yeah, he was last right after the second lap. That's right.
I'm impressed that Jeff Bodine has been able to run as hard as he has because he has no brake work, no cooling going through the brakes on the right front of that car. He made some contact on one of the early caution flags. We can see the damage to the right front. It's knocked all his ductwork also. Jeff is doing a heck of a job not being able to use the brakes as he normally would.
Al Petty coming into the pits.
Second place car is headed in for what should be his final pit stop of the afternoon. The mellow yellow Pontiac. Jerry, can you see it?
Yes, we can, Bob. They're going to change right side tires and left side tires. 4 tires. And it looked like the car may have come off the jack on the right side. Now the car is off the jack. Finally, they have the right front side tires on. Now the left side. A little bit of a problem on the right side of that car. May cost them a couple extra seconds. Left front tire going on. Left rear. Car off the jack. And he is down and away.
And he quickly gets back onto the racetrack. Pulling out right beside Jeff Gordon.
And he's right in front of Rusty Wallace. Wallace went by him one time. He is 1 lap down, but he should be able to stay out in front of Wallace now and only be 1 lap down. You see how long Wallace stays out there before he comes into the pits.
The new tires will allow Kyle to pull away from Rusty and stay just 1 lap down.
Well, they should anyway.
Here's Jeff Bodine in the Motorcraft Ford. A 4-time winner here at Martinsville.
And Ned Jarrett mentioned that he started dead last. That's right. He started on the pole, but spun on the second lap and fell back to last, 34th on lap 5. And he's working his way back up to 10th, so that's pretty strong.
Sure is. But he has not led a lap. Only 3 have: Wallace, Strickland, and Earnhardt.
There goes Terry Labonte trying to get by on the outside. Remember, he just stopped a few laps ago, has fresh tires on that car.
Should be able to drive around Mark Martin.
Now, Davey Allison has moved up into 2nd place now. He wishes Rusty Wallace would go ahead and make a pit stop and let him lead a lap.
Rusty is bottled up behind Brett Bodine and Jeff Gordon. Rusty and Davey should be pitting soon here at Martinsville. We'll be back when that happens.
Rich Bickle wins again at Concord, and everyone here is dying to know his secret.
Hi, Rich. Your dinner is ready.
For some of the best food around, visit McCabe's Restaurant today on North Cannon Boulevard in Kannapolis.
I'm always a winner at McCabe's.
The savings are on during Young Ford's 41st anniversary celebration. Save on America's best-selling car, the Ford Taurus, as low as $13,995. For the Motor Trend Car of the Year, the 93 Probe, just $12,411. Need a truck? Drive America's #1 selling vehicle, the F-150 at $10,888. And with every purchase of a new car or truck, you'll get an Alltel cellular phone or a dream vacation for 2 to one of 5 exciting locations. So come in for the anniversary celebration. After all, why drive an old car when you could drive a Young Ford? Young Ford, the corner of Eastway and North Tryon.
Getting to make pit stops, Mark Martin gives up his 8th place to come in for his final pit stop. And Jerry, it's up to you.
And right side tires are already going on the Valvoline Ford. Steve Mill and company now putting around on the left side of the car. We would expect to see all the leaders in the next 5 to 7 laps. Left side runs up going on. And Jeff Bodine comes down pit road right in front of Mark Martin. He heads back to turn 1.
The Valvoline Ford pulls out onto the racetrack behind Phil Parsons. Jeff Bodine is on pit road as the Motorcraft Ford gets final service. Here is Kyle Petty passing Michael Waltrip. And here is an indication of what the new tires can do. His last lap was 90.1, and just before he came in, the leader was 88. So 2 miles an hour better on the newer tires.
And here's Terry Labonte, another example. He has caught Rusty Wallace and has passed him. Now Terry is only 1 lap down.
You see, that's why Kyle Petty stopped. That was his only chance to win the race. He was going to stop a little bit early, go out and try to make as much time as he could with good tires on his race car, and hope that Rusty stayed out there when he came back on the racetrack, that Kyle Petty would have a chance to win the race. We'll see how it plays out.
Michael Waltrip just coming out of the pits.
Almost saw
contact between Marcus and Brett Bodine right in front of Rusty. Marcus in the 71.
I'll tell you, Rusty Wallace is losing a lot of time here right now.
Now there is a spin right in front of him.
And Rusty has contact with Terry Labonte. I don't know how badly the car was damaged, if at all. Brett Bodine is up against the wall, and the caution comes out. A tremendous break for Rusty and Davey.
And a terrible break for Kyle Petty.
Brett Bodine was running in 5th place, and Terry Labonte had a lot of damage to more damage to his car in this situation. This will be a break for Dale Jarrett and Darrell Waltrip. They too had not made pit stops.
Here it is again.
Well, we're headed down into turn 1. Brett Bodine goes down. Dave Marcus is down there, and they touch, and around Brett goes up into the wall. And Rusty, I guess he did tap.
Yeah, they did. They did touch. Yeah. And now Rusty comes onto pit road. Jerry Punchy is headed slowly toward you.
At 35 miles per hour. In fact, what a break for Rusty Wallace. He was pitting the next lap by. He was a half a lap away from coming into the pit. Davey Allison on the bottom of your screen. Davey Allison's crew going to the right side of that car. Jack to the right side, whereas Rusty's crew already on the left side, putting left side tires on that machine. Now Davey's crew scampering around to the left side of the Haviland Ford. A chassis adjustment for Davey's car. While Rusty is off the jack and headed down pit road, Davey's still on the jack. Left front, left rear lug nuts on. They've adjusted the chassis, and now Davey Allison heads back to turn 1. Let's go to John Kernan.
Darrell Waltrip just pulling in. It will be a 4-tire change for old DW's on the backstretch. This is another one of those cars that doesn't like to qualify very fast. Rusty Wallace goes down the backstretch. So does Davey Allison behind. The right sides are already on. Left side's now going on for Darrell. They were another one of the teams that told me they thought they could win this race from the backstretch pits. In fact, they did, I believe, a few years ago. Of course, that was before. 18.1 seconds, a very good stop. And of course, as I was saying, I believe they did win a race here from the backstretch a few years ago, but that was before the new pit road rules where they closed the pits.
A lot of smoke coming from Terry Labonte's car. That car has damage on the right front. It's pushed the tire back, and a tough break.
It's pushed the fender back on the tire.
Yeah.
And it's rubbing substantially. Now he's coming in the pits. He was a lap down. I wonder why he didn't come in the last time.
But he had to stay out and go around that other lap until the leaders had made their pit stop.
So this caution has set up a whole new scenario now for the finish of the race, and we are 75 laps from that point. We'll be back in a moment.
Oil. It It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
ESPN, Top Rank Boxing. It's a special night honoring world champion Michael Carbajal on Top Rank Boxing. USBA lightweight champion Carl Griffith faces Narciso Valenzuela, and former world champion Lupe Aquino battles Joey DeGrandis. Top Rank Boxing, Saturday night at midnight Eastern on the ESPN.
Under caution here at Martinsville because of a spin involving Brett Bodine. The cars are lining up behind the Pontiac pace car. King Richard Petty looks on. And we will be back for a restart of this event in just a moment. Rusty Wallace is the leader, followed by Davey Allison and Dale Jarrett.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
The Suzuki Intruder.
There's no place on earth that I'd rather be than out in the open where it's all plain to see. If it's gonna get done, it's up to you and me. Come on and head for the mountains of Bush. Come on and head for the mountains of Bush. Here.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
How far will your money go in buying an Intruder 800? Introducing Suzuki Get On It Flexible Financing. Want to see it again? Other programs include 0 down, low monthly payments, and first-time buyer. Get on it.
Back at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia. And the field is back under green once again with Rusty Wallace leading. Davey Allison second. Dale Jarrett is running in third position. And the only other car on the lead lap is Darrell Waltrip in fourth.
Kyle Petty is in fifth. He is one lap back and about 20 car lengths behind Rusty Wallace. Was not able to mount enough of a charge to get up there and try to get back in the lead lap. Of course, Kyle went a lap down as a result of a green flag pit stop. Rusty Wallace, Davey Allison, Dale Jarrett, and Darrell Waltrip all had the luxury of making their pit stops under caution. And they should be able to go, everybody go the rest of the way as far as needing to make another pit stop for tires or fuel, really, unless they have a flat or something.
There's their second and third place cars. Davey Allison, Hamlin Star, Ford Thunderbird, the Interstate Battery Chevrolet of Dale Jarrett. There we see Kyle Petty going in the corner on the outside of Dale Earnhardt. Kyle Petty, remember, made that green flag pit stop, changed 4 tires, got a lap down, and then the caution flag came out.
Seems like it takes about 10 or 15 laps for Davey Allison to get his car going after he puts new tires on it. Then he seems to be able to get better traction and take off.
Rusty Wallace has been definitely the class of the field today, hasn't he, Ned?
Oh, yeah, that car is really hooked up. Of course, he has done a great job of driving it.
And the crew just continues to do fabulous work on pit road.
There's a Fram field summary. 4 cars are on the lead lap. Kyle Petty in fifth, a lap down. Pole sitter Bodine 9th. Jeff Gordon is brought back to 11th now.
I'll have to correct myself. I said Labonte had gone several laps down. Actually, he is only 1 lap down, Terry Labonte, so he's still...
And that was because he stopped early and made that 4-tire stop on the green flag.
He did unlap himself once before the caution came out, but he's still a lap down. There's a leader. Most recent driver to win 3 consecutive short track races. Rusty could do that today. It was Rusty Wallace, who won North Wilkesboro in '88, and then the '89 Richmond race and the '89 Bristol event.
You're just full of stuff, aren't you, Bob?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said stuff.
Rusty Wallace is turning laps at less than 21 seconds. Now, the pole speed here was about 20.19 or something like that, so he's still far less than a second off the pole speed.
That's pretty strong.
It is.
There's old DW. He's hung in there, got a 4th-place run going. He's still in the lead lap in that Western Auto Chevrolet, but Kenny Schrader goes by.
Yeah, Daryl's car, this set of tires not running as good. Or maybe his brakes is beginning to fade a little bit or something like that, but he is definitely dropping farther back behind Dale Jarrett and Davey Allison than he was before.
In all the races he has run at Martinsville, he has finished in the top 5 67% of the time. Look at this. He started 26th. Currently 4th. He has been as high as 2nd, and he's been as low as 26th.
And you see where he started 26th in practice on Friday. Darrell Waltrip's car was just as fast as anyone else's. So when Jeff Bodine went out and ran that 2019 or 17, whatever he ran, Darrell said, man, I know I've got to really run a good lap. And some observers watching him qualify thought the throttle at home. He drove the car in so deep. I'll be done. And what happened, Darrell? Driver messed up.
Well, at least he's honest.
Well, he's smart. That's why he's in 4th place here today.
Right.
He's just driven a very good, smart race.
There's Kenny Schrader, who is 10th, 3 laps behind. Kodiak Chevrolet. What's his day been like? Well, he started 13th, currently 10th, has been as high as 9th and as low as 18th. You'll see almost everybody with laps led 0, because only 3 again, actually 4 now have led a lap. That's Davey Allison was able to lead 1, but Rusty, Hut Strickland, Dale Earnhardt, and Davey Allison have been the only drivers to lead a lap, and there have been 8 lead changes.
You know how Davey Allison led his lap?
I was just going to tell the producer to give me a shot on pit road.
Rusty Wallace is pitting just before you get to the start-finish line, so he stopped. Davey Allison came across the start-finish line going to his pits, and that's how he led the lap.
Exactly. Got 5 points because Rusty pitted before he got to the start-finish line. Now we see Rick Mast in the Skoll Classic Ford. He's currently running 12th. He's 4 laps down to the leader, Rusty Wallace.
A little bit of damage on the side of that car, but nothing that isn't out of the ordinary for Martinsville. He started 17th. 12th, where he is currently running, is his highest, and 28th, his lowest. We'll just do this to show you how the race has gone for some of these drivers, their highest and lowest positions so far in the event and where they are currently. And we will return to do more of them in a little bit. Right now, we will watch Rusty Wallace put another lap on Dick Trickle as he is en route to 3 consecutive wins in the NASCAR season for '93.
You about finished? How's it going? Great. We have a lot of good mechanics that shop at AutoZone. Well, you also have a lot of people who just want to save some money by doing a simple job themselves, like changing their oil or putting in new plugs. They just want to come in, get what they need, and get out. Well, at AutoZone, we have parts for just about every car made. So if you know what you want, great. But if you're not quite sure about something, no problem. We'll help. After all, that's what we're here for.
A hot new peanut just rode into town.
with the spicy taste that's getting everybody all fired up.
Got some more. Maybe you ought to practice with mild.
Try new Planters Heat in mild and hot.
We're here at McDonald's to tell you about
Breakfast economics.
Breakfast economics? It's a great breakfast at a great price.
It's a McDonald's thing. It saves you money. Pretty simple, isn't it?
Piece of cake.
What you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
It's good, isn't it? It's great.
ESPN Speed World today at Martinsville, Virginia for the Haynes 500, the final short track race of the first half of the 1993 season. And Rusty Wallace is leading this one. But
there's Davey, and looks like he might be gaining, Bob. You know, no one has gained on Rusty Wallace all day long, but I don't know. Davey's not losing anything as he did.
No, I don't think he's losing anything. We'll put the clock on him to just see how he does stand. He seems to be keeping at least the distance, and maybe every once in a while does gain a little bit.
Well, we'll get our interval clock going here, and it's 2.4 seconds. Now we'll do it again next lap and see how it changes. There are 35 laps to go.
35 laps, so if he can pick off 2/10 a lap, a lot of time. Here comes Rusty. Start the clock. Here comes Davey. Gain a 1/10 of a second.
Yep. However, Rusty did pass a lap car that time. Bobby Labonte, you see right behind him, so he passed him. That usually slows you just a little bit, but Davey coming up having to pass a couple of cars, and one of those, of course, the 27 car you saw him go around. So we'll see how that affected him.
All right, there we go.
Yep, lost a little.
Yeah, you're right. So I guess it's about even, but
depends on how much traffic they get in on a given lap as to how much they gain or lose.
There we see Davey. Looks like that brake recirculating valve might have worked for Davey Allison. Because here he is with just 30 laps to go, a little over 30 laps to go. Still has a very good race car.
The 3-car of Dale Earnhardt is being black flagged.
He's gone to the pits.
Yeah, he's been running very slowly, and the car is smoking, and so Dale has taken it behind the wall.
Now this is good. There we see Earnhardt. They're raising the hood on the car.
Earnhardt led one lap of this event, but ran up front for quite a while.
He had dropped to 20th position, Bob, after he started having some engine problems.
Here's another Fram field summary. It'll show you 4 cars on the lead lap. Rusty going in turn 1 alongside Dave Marcus.
Marcus racing him there a little bit. He is.
And there's Labonte, who is slowing considerably.
Yeah, we see Rusty Wallace going to put another lap on him. He's 1 lap down. He'll be 2 as soon as Rusty goes by. But going in turn 1 a few laps ago, I saw him hit the brakes and blow a seal because he smoked a little bit and then he quit smoking. So I know that's what the problem is.
I'm just looking on the scoring here to see where Dave Marcus is. I saw him on the screen. He's running in 18th place. Having a pretty good run here today.
If Rusty does win this race, it'll be his 2nd victory at Martinsville and his 1st victory in this race. His previous win here was in the fall race in 1986.
I think he's pulling away from Davey a little bit now. Davey got in some heavy traffic.
He sure looks like he is now. I thought maybe that Davey was gaining, had a shot, but I don't think so. For him to have a shot, I think someone's got a break on this too.
About 3 seconds behind now.
Rusty started this race in 5th position. So far has led 382 of the 472 laps. And Buddy Parrott has been named our Western Auto Mechanic of the race. Jerry?
You really have to give a call to Buddy Parrott and the rest of this Penske South crew for Rusty Wallace. The crew has done a heck of a job on pit stops, but Buddy Parrott is the main man. He's the quarterback in this shop, helps them organize what they need to get done. He's one of the primary reasons they may have a chance of winning 3 in a row and 4 in the year here early in the season. He is the Western Auto Mechanic of the race and certainly well-deserving here at Martinsville.
Congratulations to Buddy for the honor.
All he's got to do is keep the engine together, keep brakes on the car, dodge all the guys that might spin out in front of him, and he'll win this thing.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll come right back, however, after a commercial message, and you won't miss a thing from the Haynes 500 from Martinsville Speedway in Virginia.
I'm Doug Mays, talking with John Montgomery at Montgomery Mazda. John started working with his father over 15 years ago, getting experience in every phase of the business.
I've learned to always be fair with people, give them a square deal, and always follow through with quality service.
These people represent 75 years of dedication to the tradition of service at Montgomery Mazda. I trust the fine people at Montgomery Mazda, and you can too.
Montgomery Mazda, our pride works for you.
Probably the biggest change in racing since I retired is the money. Another huge change in auto racing is how it's accepted nationwide. So many people ask me, do I miss driving a race car? The answer is no. I really enjoy what I'm doing now, trying to explain auto racing to you.
NASCAR reports from someone who's been there. Benny Parsons, Mondays on News 36.
Don Mattingly blocked his path to stardom in the Bronx, but now the Angels' J.T. Snow is storming back to prove the Yankees wrong. Tomorrow night, live on ESPN, Tuesday Night Baseball.
Back at Martinsville, where Rusty Wallace continues to set the pace with 22 laps to go.
And as Rusty Wallace goes down the front straightaway, Hutch Strickland, the outside pole sitter who ran so strong at the beginning, pulls his car behind the wall and out of the race.
I think they might have figured that they'd run as many laps, gained as many positions as they could. There's no point in running these other 21 laps because they could not gain any more positions. That's just speculation on my part, but here, that's just the way that it looks.
Rusty is going to widen his advantage in the points if he wins this race over Earnhardt, because Dale is behind the wall and right now is being shown in 22nd position. And if we were to award points right now, Rusty would have a 101-point lead over Dale.
Earnhardt would still be second?
Yes. Huh. Well, yep. That's what my statistics show. Allison would be third. And then Kyle Petty and Jeff Bodine.
There you see Rusty dives inside Bobby Hill in the Heilig Myers Ford, Junie Donlevy's car. Bill Ellie with all his damage.
And Michael Waltrip. Rusty coming up to put another lap on Terry.
There's Bill Parsons as Rusty comes up behind him.
Laps 468 through 472 to get an idea of whether or not Davey was closing in on Rusty, and he is not. Say very consistent, but it ended up about a second advantage for Rusty.
Look at that. Every lap that Rusty Wallace ran was 21.3.
Yep.
That's how you win races. Being consistent as that.
Wow. I should say a tenth of a second, 2.5 to 2.6. Yeah, that is pretty impressive. Jimmy Hensley in the number 7 car is lapped again.
13th he's being shown right now.
They're riding with him
inside his car. So Jerry Kowicki, Alan's father, down in the pits before the race started. He's in attendance today. It's the first time he'd ever been to Martinsville. And a spin, Brett Bodine is spun up in turn 4.
And the caution is out.
And the caution's out again.
With 14 laps to go, the caution comes out for Brett Bodine's spin. He brought out one of the other previous cautions by spinning up
Boy, he pulled down in front of Jimmy Hensley. Hensley did a great job. He and Michael Waltrip both of getting around Brad and not hitting him. Well, now.
What's going to happen now, Ed?
They'll have 12 laps to go when they come back.
Will it fit, Ned? What do you think?
See, I don't much think so. Of course, if Rusty Wallace does, then maybe
Davey will.
Davey won.
Maybe not.
If Rusty stops, then Davey won. The last guy on the lead lap, Darrell Waltrip, he will do what the rest. Oh, Rusty's coming in.
Yep, he sure is.
Rusty's coming in. Is Davey going to?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Is Dale Jarrett coming in? Yeah, he is too. That's surprising me. I thought that one of them would stay out there, probably Darrell Waltrip. But let's go to the pits and Jarrett.
This will be a wild scramble in the pits. Davey's crew working, Rusty's crew working, and Dale Jarrett. 2 on the top, 28 on the bottom. Pontiac on top, Ford on bottom. Left side tires on Rusty Wallace's Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac. He is down and away. They are working on Davey Allison's car. They have the right side tires on. Now left side being put on. Left side going on Dale Jarrett's Interstate Battery Chevrolet. He is down and away. And Davey Allison's car will lead Dale Jarrett back to turn 1.
And Darrell Waltrip enters the backstretch pits. John.
Darrell Waltrip is in for a Ford tire change. They are on the right side now as they will go to work. Barry Dodson and the crew. Right's going on. Darrell, of course, was pitting on the back stretch. Left's going on. They're down on the right side, coming around to the left side. Darrell, of course, pitting on the back stretch. Rusty, Davey, and Dale Jarrett have already passed by. Darrell Waltrip getting service. The last car on the lead lap off the jack, 19 seconds.
19.2 to be exact for Darrell as he goes slowly down pit road on the backstretch and rejoins the race.
Tell you one reason that they had the track has gotten very slick, and the speeds had slowed dramatically out there, and so when Rusty came in, the others knew, hey, he'll pass us anyway, so we might as well come in and get those tires.
And the Wallace crew did what they have been doing all season long, and that is turning in an excellent performance. That stop was 16.9 seconds. Can he hang on to win? We'll be right back.
When 280 seemed out of reach, it's Joe Amato and Autolite who punch it. The wall goes to 290. Connie Coletta and Autolite smash it. 300, the barrier. Kenny Bernstein and Autolite shatter it. Autolite and the Record Breakers. Wow, I feel good. We feel pretty good about that.
You've seen it before. The ones who run with the herd, and the one who always seems to run alone. You don't see him often enough, though.
Head for the mountains of bush.
NASCAR excitement Sunday on ESPN. Tighten your seatbelt as the top NASCAR drivers head to the Talladega Super Speedway for the Winston 500. Charging at speeds reaching 200 miles an hour. If you don't concentrate on this speedway, you lose control. The Winston 500, Sunday afternoon at 2 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Field is being reassembled for a restart. And when they get the green flag, it'll be lap 492. So we'll only have 8 laps to go in this one. Rusty Wallace, Davey Allison, Dale Jarrett, and Darrell Waltrip. Here's a green flag. We're back to racing.
Kyle pulls down to the inside, lets Davey go, gives Jarrett running room up there on the outside. He's going to let those leaders go ahead and do their thing. He has Brett Bodine on his back bumper. They're racing for position, but he's going to let them get up front and do their thing, and then he'll settle that with Brett.
And Kenny Schrader's car just dead in the water. Now it seems like he finally gets it going a little bit. He looks like he's headed for pit road. Tough break for Schrader.
Well, Schrader had run an awfully good race here today as well. He's being shown in the 9th position.
Well, Rusty had to do something else. He had to shift gears for him, Bob. He was able to do that as well.
7 laps to go for Rusty. Allison is second. Jarrett and Waltrip, and it's a transmission problem on Kenny Schrader's machine. That complete laps 494.
Interstate Battery Chevrolet looking at Davey Allison.
But Darrell Waltrip is really breathing down Jarrett's neck for the third position.
There's the race for third. Ned just spoke about.
Rusty on his way to his 4th win in the 1993 season. It'll be his 25th career, his 10th short track victory.
4.5, almost just 4 laps to go as soon as he comes by the start-finish line.
Maintaining an advantage.
Oh, Morgan Shepherd hit the wall hard up in turn 3, between turn 3 and 4. The Citgo Ford just shot into the wall, and boy, he hit it hard.
He sure did, and there's considerable damage to the right side. Here's the caution once again.
And he's sitting right in the middle of the track. They got to race back here. This race could finish under the caution. Of course, their spotters are telling him where he is.
Look at Allison trying to win it.
He couldn't quite make it. A half a car length.
That could have been the race right there if we do not go back to green.
We will not go back to green, believe me.
Yeah, there's only 3 laps to go, and there's enough debris scattered all the way around turn 4. And, of course, his car is still sitting there. Look how close Davey came to winning this thing.
He got up on the inside of him, about a half a car length, maybe 3/4 of a car length.
Yep. Wow.
Wouldn't that be something if he'd won the race? Next question is
Morgan okay?
Morgan okay? But
That's
we can see some heavy damage to the car.
It will end under caution. The pace car is trying to pick up the field, weaving its way through wreckers and the wrecked race car of Morgan Shepherd.
2 laps to go. There's no way they can get that race car picked up, cleaned up, and start this race back.
But again, our concern is not with whether we go back green, but rather whether or not Morgan Shepherd is injured.
Exactly. They're bringing the ambulance up behind the car right now.
You're right, Ned. He hit that thing a ton.
I caught him just as he was coming out of about the second groove, and it just shot him. I don't know what happened. If something broke on the car or if someone hit him. It didn't look like someone hit him. It just looked like something broke on the car, and he just shot in there.
He was running in 18th position. He is out of the car. Good.
They're carrying him.
They're carrying him, though.
Carrying him to the ambulance there behind the car.
Wonder why they wouldn't get the gurney and transport him that way. In any case, you see Morgan. Yeah, his car is headed for the 3rd turn wall. He hit it and then stayed up against the wall the way through turn 4 and then slid down to the middle of the racetrack. White flag comes out along with the caution, and this one will end under yellow with Rusty Wallace winning his 3rd consecutive event and 4th of the 93 season, dominating the short track activity in the first half of the season.
3 in a row.
Let's go to Jerry Punch, who's with Buddy Parrott.
They're holding their breath, and Buddy Parrott, a big smile from you. He's about a half a lap away from 3 in a row. Congratulations.
I tell you what, it's really a great win. You know, I said Wilkesboro was a handling situation, but today it's a mechanical situation. You know, the guys in the chassis shop and the guys, the whole guy, everybody that did the brakes, everything. We won this race today because of maintenance. The car handled great, but still, it lived all day. Earnhardt had a problem with the motor, and this is for David Evans. His father had a heart attack. This is for you, David.
And they dedicate the win to David Evans, the engine builder, who is not here today, but watching at home with his dad, who had a heart attack. Bob?
Rusty Wallace has led 905 of the 1,800 laps raced on short tracks this season. He has led 50%. And not only is this a big win for Rusty Wallace, but it moves Pontiac to the top of the manufacturers battle with 54. Rusty Wallace has won the Haynes 500 here at Martinsville, and we'll be back to Victory Lane to talk with him after this.
The Suzuki GSXRs. First, they win more road races than any production motorcycle in history. license plate on them. The new liquid-cooled GSXRs, now available in 600, 750, and 1100 octane.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard Oil Filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Fire from beneath the mountains gave the land its richness. And the land gave the richness to the coffee of Colombia. That's why Maxwell House uses more Colombian beans than anyone in America. Because better beans make better coffee. The coffees of Maxwell House, blended with rich Colombian beans. Always good to the last drop.
Rusty Wallace has already taken the checkered flag on his cool-down lap here at Martinsville Speedway in Virginia, having won the Haynes 500. He's turning the car around again and looks like he's headed for another Polish victory lap in salute to Alan Kowicki. Our Speed World coverage being brought to you by Allied Signals Fram Oil Filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later. By Suzuki, your Suzuki motorcycle dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. And by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR. Well, the NASCAR official stepped in and wouldn't allow Rusty to take the Polish victory lap because there's a lot of confusion down in turn 4 where Morgan Shepherd had a crash. Let's go to victory lane now, and here is Dr. Jerry Punch.
Thank you very much, Bob. Rusty Wallace climbs out of the Pontiac in here with Roger Penske and the crew to celebrate. Rusty, congratulations on a tremendous effort.
Yeah, thanks a lot. The car was just really strong all day long. I mean, I got to hand it to the crew, and everybody did a wonderful job. The car really handled perfect. The motor was strong, didn't have any brake problem. I'd like to dedicate this race to David Evans' father, who had a heart attack the other day. Hope he's doing well. And to Jerry and Thelma Kowicki, this is their first time back since their son passed away in Bristol, and I was really proud. Wish I could have done a reverse victory lap, but they had a big problem down and coming off turn 4. NASCAR wouldn't let me go around, but I really want to do it. At least I got a turnaround going that way.
What a sequence, 3 in a row. I mean, you're on a roll. The team really doing some great jobs. When they had to, that last pit stop, 16.9 seconds.
They pulled it off. They did it right. You know, I was thinking, man, I hope there's no cautions with 14 or 15 and going, son of a gun, if somebody didn't wreck, you know. But we had a pretty good race. Don't even have a hardly scratch on the car. Just like to thank Miller Genuine Draft, Mobile Oil, AC Spark Plugs, Goodyear, Pontiac, all the people who participate in our program.
Rusty Wallace all smiles, as is Roger Penske here in victory lane, and the Gatorade comes down on the champion as they celebrate. And Bob, we will mention that we have been told that Morgan Shepherd is awake and alert, and that is very good news from down here trackside.
Indeed, we're glad to hear that Morgan Shepherd is okay. We'll show you the unofficial results here from the Haynes 500. It was a good race. Just 4 cars, however, finishing on the lead lap.
Terry Labonte was able to salvage a 9th place after all his problems.
Jimmy Hensley, the hometown favorite, finishes in 13th position.
And we see Morgan Shepherd finish 19th, even though he hit the wall right near the end of the race.
And 21 through 25, Marlin, Earnhardt, Hillen, Wallace, and Derek Cope. Hut Strickland, Bill Elliott, Ted Musgrave, Ricky Rudd, and Jimmy Spencer. And the remaining drivers, Harry Gant, Ernie Irvin, Bobby Hamilton, and Wally Dallenbach. Now, in terms of the point standings, 1,297 for Rusty Wallace, 1,196 for Dale Earnhardt. Allison, Petty, and Bodine complete the top 5. Then 6 through 10 in the points going to Talladega. Martin, Shepherd, Jarrett, Darrell Waltrip, and Brett Bodine. Stay tuned for Speedway coming up. We will be with you a week, or this coming Sunday, I should say, for Super Speedway racing at Talladega and the Winston 500. Our congratulations once again to Rusty Wallace, who made it 3 in a row here today at Martinsville with a win in the Haynes 500. For Ned Jarrett, Benny Parsons, John Kernan, and Dr. Jerry Punch, this is Bob Jenkins. So long, everyone.